Oh, bricked it.
Ah! 2 for 5. That means that I'm 5 for 3 on dunks.
Yeah.
That means welcome into the Ride the Wave show. It has been a long week away from you guys, but we are excited to be back. Excited to be back in the chair in front of you guys. We got some big news next week. Next week, we hit our 1 year mark, fellas. Damn it! Every week!
Yeah, I saw you move not move on purpose.
Every
but I saw
week,
the table move.
Oh, man, it's a curse.
Yeah.
It's my favorite picture, too. It's a curse. I can't handle it. I can't.
It needs to be up on the wall.
It does. It does. I'm running out of room on my wall, though. Oh, well. Well, we are officially starting the show now that the picture has fallen. Adam, Tony, how was your guys this weekend? How are we doing on this fine Tuesday?
I got a cat.
Oh, yeah, Adam got a cat.
Old Jerry Jr., JJ for short.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a cat after my dog Dobby found it in the backyard.
I thought Kona found it, and we saved it from Dobby.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was going to be eaten by the dog. Thank God that didn't happen. Yeah, it was
I'll say this: it's way more stressful than I thought it was going to be. I'm stressing myself out for no reason over
Adam
it.
is a good cat parent at fault sometimes. Tony, how have you been?
I got a kid.
You got
Way stressful the second one than I thought it would be. There's some jealousy things we're working through, but we had a good week. I grew some butterflies. You can order caterpillars and watch them turn into cocoons. You feed them.
I saw you got a bird
that.
over there
Bro,
too, raising a bald eagle.
It's legit. You know how many people were pissed about that? They were like, "That's not a bald eagle, it's a robin." I'm like, "Come on, man."
Not around here. It's a freedom bird.
So a lot of young life around mine.
young life, young bald eagles coming to life here soon. Speaking of young, we have an announcement to make. There's going to be a big time 4-on-4 tournament coming up July 27th. Is being hosted by Justin Springer and Pick Washington. They have already produced 2 really big tournaments with the 1v1 and the 2v2 tournaments. So we will be keeping you guys an update on that. Make sure that you are checking out. And all the money that they are raising with this tournament is going to be going to the 3rd through 6th grade classes at Chillicothe to help with back-to-school supplies, lunches, and everything like that. So it's going to be for a good cause and making sure that you're having your eyes out on that. Another big news in the area, we have not a commitment, but an offer from the Rio Grande University offering Braylon Robertson a nice offer, one of the first offers from this area to go there. So big
Maybe
time
the best
there.
offer I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think Coach Q hit the nail on the head with that one. Braylon's probably going to be high on the fantasy charts this year if you have to think so, with a lot of rushing yards and a ground attack.
If he's going after guys like Braylon for that Rio Grande team, you just know they're going to be a ground and pound 3 yards to the cloud of dust team.
Exactly, 3
watch
yards to the cloud of dust. And ground and pound football is kind of, I feel like people say he's gone away from it, but if you look at the teams that are normally winning on a consistent basis, they have a very good run game. I mean, whenever you become one-dimensional, I feel like you become too predictable. So you got to keep that ground and pound game, but then it opens up the play action and everything like that. So
it's kind of tough sometimes, though. Like, if you look at a Yoda last year, sometimes you have to have a rotation of guys that are all good at different things. You're not always lucky to have a Braylon Robertson or being Piketon up there, which is a stable of them. But I liked how Yoda used to shuffle guys in. You couldn't even play a Yoda running back in fantasy last year because 1 year they're getting absurd amount, or 1 week they're getting absurd amount of points, the next week maybe a little bit less, but that's what the game called for, and that's why they won so many.
And that's where the wide receivers kind of fell for him last year too, because I felt like they all consistently got catches, had decent points, but none of them were big game breakers. Maybe one every week was, but having to try and pick between those 3 would be too much on any kind of fantasy owner.
Is that a lead-in? Because that's when you talk about best fantasy wide receivers, you have to take that into account.
Yeah.
There's some stuff.
When we're talking about Braylon, I was looking at SVC Sports Talk because they have all the stats up for the last season, and he is the only person that is number one in all categories for his particular
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see him have an 1,850 yards, and then in second place has an 1,100.
Yeah.
And it's Buddy Wilson, who is a phenomenal runner for Piketon. So
he had
He was a junior last year, right?
No, I think he was a senior. I'm not 100% sure, though. Haven't done the research on the running backs because this week we will be breaking down our top 5 wide receivers here later in the show. Again, that's going to be for fantasy purpose only. We're not saying, hey, these are, in this order, the best wide receivers around. We're saying fantasy-wise what they're going to bring to your fantasy lineup.
based off of what happened last year.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting. We got 2 people that are going to be in our fantasy league this year. 2 fans. We are looking for 2 more fans. So if you are interested in joining the Fantasy High School Football League, message our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we can get back with you via information. Bill Callahan, he's going to be in it. I'm excited to see how that goes.
Yes.
Yeah, real excited to see how that goes. He seems really excited.
Enthusiasm, that's what we want.
Now, before we get going, me and Adam have to this is near and dear to our hearts, made us kind of get into track over the weekend. The great Noah Lyles. Did you see him over the weekend?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You go ahead and take it.
It was in the men's Olympics, like the men's trials for, I want to say, the 100 meters. So day 1, he had a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Day 2, he had Exodia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I saw it on the channel. I was like, I'm going to see if he's, if it's his race. It wasn't, so we changed it.
Yeah.
So my thing is I was like, is he allowed to have that in there? But
Yeah, so I saw him with an interview, and he says that he just puts it in the side, and it's like on his skin. So he's running so fast, it's just sticking to him.
I
On
to sit there, and the other people are like, I'll take any advantage I can get. If he wants to put a card in,
hey,
go for it.
He's out there for the nerds and us saying we can be a nerd and an athlete because he won both those races to qualify for the Olympics, all because of the power of the
We
car.
gotta
kinda
start
like
being honest, though. They're, the jocks are starting to be outnumbered.
Yeah.
Because, you look at how many NBA players, could
Well,
honestly
I was thinking
go
of,
play professional gaming and
Running back for the Salt, is it Williams? He used to play for Detroit, plays for the Saints now. He's a huge Pokemon guy. He was just at Comic-Con. He was
Boston Scott.
Yeah.
He was pro Rocket League, still is.
I was going to say,
love that.
Kyler Murray's on an actual gaming team.
They had to put in his contract that he's not
Hey, you got to look at the film too instead of just playing the video games.
Well, there was a thing where if you were a bettor, right? When Call of Duty came out in November, his numbers after Call of Duty came out was just trash.
Yeah.
Because he'd just be playing Call of Duty all the time, which I think that might have hurt Luka this year because Kyrie started making him a normal person. It was like, hey, yeah, it's not just about basketball going home. It's you can do stuff that's fun,
You
right?
can have a
so
life.
he started playing games, and I think he's a Warzone guy, I think, but I'm not 100% sure.
Could you imagine being a coach? You're if I have to go on this guy's level, I'm just going to hop on the game and be like, all right, Kyler, I'm going to beat your ass, and then you got to watch some film.
I'm going to grab my 14-year-old to beat
just have the mic on. Maybe it was like, yeah, I'm shitting on
his girlfriend.
It's it's what these, I guess, newer coaches in the NFL will have to start adjusting to is not dealing with, but trying to understand the younger players. That's probably what why hiring a younger coach is not always a bad idea. Huh?
Is it better than partying now?
Depends, because if you're still
staying
staying up
you're not
late,
putting your body into harm's way, other than
Yeah.
maybe losing sleep if you're
Yeah.
staying up too late. You're not
But
putting
that's why
poison into your body.
I feel like
quote
you see
unquote.
a lot of younger head coaches being hired in the NFL so that they could kind of relate to the kind of game, the younger lifestyle, I guess, of how they work.
These
But
new coaches, you talk about nerds,
yeah,
dude.
well, they're nerds about football, man. They
Sean
eat.
McVay,
Yeah.
McDaniels.
Dolphins coach, yeah.
Yeah, well, my favorite story about him is how he met his wife. He stole it from one of his players, and his player was like, I came in with your coach. He's like, not if you want to spot on my team, you didn't. And then he took his wife, which me personally, I was like, yeah, I'm taking the girl. I'm going to another team.
Trade
you.
Send it.
Speaking of young head coaches, J.J. Redick, new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Congratulations.
I don't know why I'm clapping.
Yeah. I was just going to let Clay Solo clap that one.
Because
All right.
because
Got me into
J.J. Redick, although he went to Puke, is awesome.
Worst worst coaching resume of all time.
He was a
Third
high
and
school.
fourth, third and
Yeah.
fourth grade
Great
boys last year. L.A. Lakers head coach this year.
there's a
chance,
Clay. You can make the jump.
No.
He's blazing trails for you right now.
Did you see? Did you
You just got to go to the NBA first.
Did you see in his interview where they asked him some question of like, how are you going to overcome all the talk, blah blah blah, and he goes, that's a great question. And I heard every word of it, but frankly, just I don't give a fuck.
And then he did go in and say, like, the reason being, I'm here to coach a basketball team. You're asking me to dispel rumors and things. I don't. And he said it again.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's right, though. He's kind of sitting there like, dude, I know I don't have experience. Can we get past this? As soon as I start coaching, rip me, do whatever you want to do. But it's like, he's smart, man.
I liked when he first got in the conversation for the head coach. There's a guy that was like, man, he's going to be coaching like high school freshmen or middle 7th and 8th grade boys. And was like shitting on him. And JJ was like, first off, I'm coaching 3rd and 4th grade boys. Okay.
I think the good thing that he's going to have for him, though, I'm not going to say he's going to be a great coach or like he's the guy that coached LeBron. I do think, though, he will be one of the coaches that could be more real with LeBron.
I think 100% he'll be like, hey, quit being a stupid
They're
pussy.
already peers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had a podcast.
And I feel like on that podcast you could see how LeBron gave JJ Redick like the respect. Like
in terms of timing, it was almost perfect for JJ to be a little bit older.
do you think it was actually a like season-long interview? Like everybody's like, obviously the internet's blowing that
Not
up.
at all, because I don't believe the Lakers are that good.
No.
Like, I don't think they're that adept. Like,
I think LeBron just wanted. I saw that JJ Redick's podcast was blowing up. He wanted to start getting in on that, and JJ Redick was trending upwards. So he just, I don't want to say hopped on that train, but hopped on that train, and then it ended up being what it is.
LeBron has that IQ. Like JJ has to want him on the show.
Yeah.
LeBron's corny as all hell, but it's like his basketball IQ is off the charts.
Yeah, and that's why I think you can see. Although, I mean, shout out Doris Burke, but although him and Doris Burke were nothing like Van Gundy and Mark Jackson. I mean, as hard as it was to get through those games, he did talk great basketball with great basketball IQ. You know what I mean? It was just boring.
I have to say, too, like JJ Redick, when he was at Duke, was like when I was watching every game of college basketball. Like, that was perfect timing for me, and it was insane. That's the closest thing I've seen to Steph Curry before. Steph Curry was JJ Redick at Duke.
And
every time that come around the pick, almost like a Christian Laettner, it was not missed. You were sitting there being like, this game is annoying because I know what's going to happen.
Well, and I feel like where he had that star status, it's obviously not nearly as big as LeBron's because he's the greatest player in the league right now, possibly of all time. But he had that kind of feeling when he was at Duke. I mean, going out to L.A., sleeping with celebrities, then coming back for practice, like on a private jet in college. You know what I mean? So I feel like on some kind of level he can relate with LeBron. When LeBron's saying, like, man, I can't even go out of my house, don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. JJ's like, yeah, no, I've been there, man. You know? So, like, they can actually have a conversation like that. And I feel like that's what you need out of a coach is somebody that you can go to and kind of talk to, and they can be like, yeah, no, I've been where you're at. And that sucks. Like
Krzyzewski's retired, too.
Yeah.
You can't tell me there's not an open line directly to him. I know he was a college coach, but it's like, in terms of X's and O's, you can't tell me he's not texting that man on a regular basis.
Yeah. And we're saying all this, but we don't even know if LeBron's going to come back next year because he could possibly be a free agent. He has, I think it's a player option that he can deny, but he could go to another team, possibly the Bulls. Little Dirk sent him a message on Instagram here saying, I will literally pay you to come here to Chicago.
Sixers said they draft Bronny.
Do you think
that came out today? I swear to God.
It's like everybody's like hopping on that Bronny train. Like,
here's what I'll say.
Well, his agent
if
even
LeBron
said,
James comes to the Sixers, it's a perfect fit. I'm not even saying that because I'm biased, but if you look at our roster, perfect fit.
Yeah.
We have a couple of young gunners around him. If we get like a KCP, that'd be great too. But Tyrese Maxey would be the perfect player to be beside him. He wants to take the shot, but will dish it every time. LeBron will take care of that. And Joel Embiid, he just wants the IQ.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Knicks are a good option too.
Yeah, maybe.
I heard
maybe,
they have the
but-
assets.
But
like if you did
so,
a sign and trade.
do you think we're ever going to get to a year to where like LeBron is just going to fall off and he's just not going to be
No.
what he was, or do you think it's going to be a settled decline?
I don't think it'll be either. I think he'll retire 2 or 3 years too early so that he doesn't do that.
But I
Because
think this contract and this choice is the first time he's going to make one where he's saying, I'm not the number one.
yeah,
Like when he signed the Lakers contract, AD wasn't there yet. So it's kind of I feel like this is the first time, like, say he goes to the Sixers, say he goes to the Knicks. I don't think he goes to that team.
To be the quote-unquote MJ, he'll go to be
I
the
think he'll
Scotty.
look at them and be like, somebody else can take
Not-
the shot.
that's just
I'm
bad,
still the man, but it's like
Yeah.
somebody else can take the shot.
Yeah.
I'm not a point guard, but I take the ball up 35.
I'll be the
I
quote-
think he's just looking
two,
not to
but-
play the whole damn game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, I don't need to play the last 6 minutes of the first quarter. I really don't need to play maybe like 5 minutes in the second quarter, wherever you want to put it.
He's what, 38 now?
No, he's over 40. He's like 41.
Damn.
Yeah. So, because he's
24 seasons in, isn't he? Or is it
no, this will
22?
be his 22nd. I want to say.
So he's 18.
But do you? Because if you're LeBron, I feel like you really only have.
Yeah, he's 39.
He's 39.
He's
Oh, I thought he
39,
was 40. If you're LeBron, though, you really don't have a whole lot of options, do you? You have LA. The
He
only
will be
reason
40 this next season.
I'll tell you right now, the Knicks, the Sixers would scarf him up in a heartbeat. The Hawks would. They have no chance.
Oh, the Knicks, they would wait a couple years from now because he's still producing good basketball. They're going to wait until he retires for like 3 years, and then they'll be like, hey, buddy, we'll offer you way too much
After
money.
Bronny retires.
Yeah.
Bring Bronny back.
Yeah, like, you want to come in? We got wheelchair
They
accessible.
signed Bronny for $20 million, and then James doesn't go back. That is the classic.
Yeah,
I mean, the
that's
Sixers,
classic Knicks.
The Sixers will miss on all of it, bringing a bunch of PJ Tuckers and be like, we spent money.
Well, see, the only two teams I
We
can
spent money.
the only two teams I can think of is the Lakers, and if he wanted to retire, a Cav.
Yeah,
But
that's
he's
my
going to
thing
take
is,
a lot less money going to Cleveland, and he's
I-
trying to buy
to
an
get him
NBA
back
team.
in that Cavs jersey, he's going to be a one-day contract. That is a
I'm
one-day contract
telling
for him to
you,
retire.
I really feel like it's going to be a left field Sixers, Knicks. I'm probably missing a couple of even like a Suns.
I just want to say I hate sign him for a one-day contract so he can retire as like a Viking or a Nick or it's like, no, play your last game with us, asshole.
Yeah.
Sign with us during the season.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get a chance to try to win a championship if you're not trying to win one for us and then be like, oh, let us, yeah, you can retire with us. No, hell with that.
Where D Wade retired? Did he go back to he?
But he
saw him
actually
on the
played
Cavs.
for a full season.
Yeah, he
Maybe
went back
2.
and played
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
he left like Chicago.
I'm 100% with
Cleveland.
you on that, man. The one-day contract to retire thing is like,
It
listen,
dep-
you didn't want me. I didn't want to come back, but now
Hold
we're going
on.
to do this.
Like, there's situations though. Brian Dawkins plays his entire career, gets kicked off our team by a butthole GM that was fired, and then like plays 1 year on the Broncos. He didn't want to leave. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough because dude, there's
Come
no-
back and sign a one-day contract that's the last Sunday of the season, play
Nine.
one last game, and then you retired an Eagle.
Oh, it's one of the worst blemishes on our record. He literally says he's going to retire, and they literally make him leave. And he goes and gets like 9 picks for Denver in his last season. And I'm just crying.
And I'm just crying.
He's sitting there playing with Champ Bailey. Like, come on. You know, from my childhood, Champ Bailey and Brian Dawkins in the same back. Stop.
Well, speaking of the Cavs, they hire Atkinson as the new head coach. Derek, I think I sent you his record whenever he was with the Nets. Good record. I think I remember when he got fired, it did not make any sense at all. So he had 82, 82, 82, and 62. That's how many wins he had per season from 16 to 20.
They were going to the playoffs. That's
Every
what was
year.
super weird, too, is the year he got
Yeah.
fired 62 games into the season, he had won Coach of the Year the year before, I believe.
And they fired him. I think that's whenever Durant headed over there? Was that one of those years? 18,
Or maybe
19,
he got
19, 20?
fired that year and then won Coach of the Year. 'Cause,
That'd be crazy.
That's when Durant's foot was on the line against the Bucks.
Yeah.
That was one of the best games I've ever seen.
I watched it in West Virginia with the referees at the referee party. They hated Kevin Durant. Hated him.
Yeah.
So, no, but
Smart guy.
I was about to say, what do you think that he's going to bring to the Cavs? Obviously, there's the up in the air about Darius Garland and
Have
Donovan
they
Mitchell.
signed Spider for sure? I haven't seen that.
I saw that he inked a 5-year contract.
Is that for sure?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah,
I'll double
5
check.
year. I didn't see the money on it because I just glanced at it, but it was 5 years. But everybody's been saying that whenever he comes back, that they're going to trade Garland. Do you think that they keep Jarrett Allen? I'm saying this as I think they should. Do you think they do that though?
I think. I don't know that it's the smartest thing to keep him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a very good asset. He's in the last.
So Clay, wrong. He has not. So according to the Athletic, Cleveland is confident that Mitchell will sign it soon because I'm pretty sure they offered him $209 million 4-year extension.
So if he signs that, they've been saying that they get rid of Garland. Atkinson coming in. Do you think Atkinson has a say of like, well, hey, listen, if Garland wants out, if we sign Mitchell, then don't sign Mitchell or sign Mitchell and trade
Yeah,
Garland?
if he comes in and says that, you fire him.
Yeah.
You fire him. If you're the your head coach says, yeah, maybe we want Garland over Mitchell, you say, you are not the guy for this job. You are fired.
That's true. That's true.
Like just personally.
I kind of look at him and be like, "Who are you? You don't have a say, period." Anyway,
I don't know. So I feel like the problem with the cast, I don't think they should do either. I think they should keep Garland. I think they should sign Mitchell. I think the problem that they had last year was Bickerstaff just the moment was too big for him. I feel like there was every single time down the floor. All right, Donovan, do something. Donovan, do something. Like,
yeah, I'll say this. I think the same thing happened to Tibbs. It wasn't that the moment was too big because he's been in that moment before. The Eastern Conference Finals would have been a moment too big for him.
Yeah.
But it's just like everybody said, hey, you run your people ragged. Like,
Yeah.
And Josh Hart was like, no, he doesn't. It's like, dude, you probably got to get IVs after every single game. You play like 80 minutes a game.
he's literally running them to death.
I think a big problem would be is that like Donovan's never had to really share the ball with a guard.
True.
It's like everybody's that he's played with out there.
Like Mike
been,
Conley was a facilitating guard for him for
one
the
dude
longest
that
time.
helps the food trucks. Blanking on his name, but he's been out there for like 4 or 5 years with him, and it's they're past. They know that they're never going to be better than they are, so they realize their role, like a Sean Livingston type guy. But they've been out there with him, so it'd be interesting.
They got to
me
get a
see how
small
that
forward.
happens.
That's why I think it would be okay to trade Jared Allen. You have
Right.
Evan Mobley still. You have to get like a small forward. Or if you're trading Garland, you got to trade him for a playmaker.
Allen, to me, like, I feel like most of his production you can get from a young, energetic guy.
Is Brandon Ingram a free agent?
No possible trade. Let's go
Yeah.
Sixers.
No.
Yeah, I would like to see them keep Allen because I really like Allen.
I really like
Allen
his
a lot.
His veteran
I do too.
leadership for Mobley.
If I had to
develop
pick
under.
between the two, though, like if I had to trade Allen or Mobley, I would trade Allen in a heartbeat.
Logan's on a rookie
yeah.
contract for a couple more years. And
Yeah.
I think Jared Allen only has 2 more years, which means he's perfect trade.
But Jared Allen has
Right.
played with Atkinson before. He was on those winning teams in Brooklyn. So
he was.
See, I'm seeing a 42-40 season and a 28-34 season, and then he had a 28-54 season. Yeah, his winning percentage. He had one winning season. That was 5-12.
oh yeah, we definitely looked
like,
at that wrong.
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah.
Like his. I was like, dude, 20-62, 28-54, 42-40, 28-34. Like, give him the axe. Get him out of there.
True.
2 things. One, like those rosters before, the 1 year 28-19, is when Kyrie would only play home games.
Oh yeah.
And there was a bunch of stuff.
So you
going
had
on.
Kyrie,
True.
Harden, and KD. That
And
team was
and
destined.
Harden was banged up. So
Yeah.
that when we say Kevin Durant versus the Bucks, none of them were playing in the
Yeah.
playoffs. And I'm telling you, he won Coach of the Year. I know he did. Maybe just for the
I know, but he did go to the Warriors whenever they won their title, right? That was 21-22. So he has been with a championship team.
if Kerr brings you in, I think that says something too.
Yeah.
So drafts tomorrow. Other than Bronny, or even really watching for anybody else.
Dude, there's a new Euro guy that's massively tall and everything like that. I'm
Yeah.
not super
Yeah.
sold on him, but this
I-
Alex Sarr guy.
I
could be
watched the
something.
draft ever since I found out about like I watched the draft live when the Knicks drafted Porzingis, and I was like, again, I didn't know who he was, but I immediately went and looked him up and was like, oh, I'm fine with that pick. Like this guy's gonna.
That's
be a
the
Dirk
thing with
Nowitzki,
all
but
these
athletic.
Euro players. It's not that like I just don't know them. So
Yeah.
like I
I
can't
don't
really
have an ability to go look at that, but I'm
Yeah.
not a GM that's like,
That's-
I'm taking planes, I'm watching all this tape. Like,
Rest in peace, Cole Robley. We were so big on Luka.
Yeah.
Of course, him being like, a Reddit dude, he always had like the scoop on people, and he'd always show me like Luka, and he's playing for Real Madrid. I think
Yeah. He went to like their basketball academy.
Yeah, see,
what's nuts is he was.
I gave up when I saw Dante Exum. I thought he was going to be great because I was like coming out of Australia. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like, this guy's going
And
to
he got super hyped up, too.
Yeah.
You know what I love? He put in hard work for many years, goes over to Europe, tries his butt off, and comes back and gets to play for the Mavs and has a pivotal role in one of their game wins this year.
I
I like that story. It's just,
No, it is, yeah.
I like dudes that are
But
out of the league.
that's when I was like, I'm not going to really
But
be
yeah, in terms
dissecting
of what
this.
his hype was, absolutely not. He was in like Sports Illustrated for kids. Like he was.
Oh, man, Sports Illustrated for kids were the best.
Who's the first high school athlete in Sports Illustrated?
LeBron, right? No. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Nope. This is right before LeBron. It's the guy, same draft.
Dwight Howard?
No,
Oh,
third-
wait, you said same draft. I was like, I'm guessing
Third
Melo.
pick overall is Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of high school, we're ready to go to our top 5 fantasy wide receivers. Again, this is going to be the top 5 wide receivers on our boards that you should look out for in the fantasy league this year.
And maybe I'm lying. Throw these guys off my trail.
All right.
Maybe.
All right, and remember the schools that we're going through is the SVC, the FAC, Waverly, Wheelersburg, Ironton, Eastern, and Vinton County.
I did the SVC plus one team.
All right, so here we go. Adam, Kamish, going first.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be the number 1 pick on your board as well. But I went with Sean Terry the second. So he's committed to Missouri. He's an SEC player.
Yeah.
And he's playing in Ironton. So I think he's just going to be a dog for some fantasy points. Number 2, fantasy-wise, I think Gage Cheadle is going to be up there. He led the league in receptions last year, which is a big deal. I just think he's going to be one of the only targets out there at Southeastern.
That's what I wanted to say about that pick is that he's going to be their number 1 target.
Yep.
He did get a lot of receptions, like you said. He's leading the league with 61. So
That right there is 61 points in itself.
exactly, a PPR league. There you go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
What was number 2 on that list?
number 2 was Walters from Westfall with 59.
59, yeah.
So it was a close battle there. But
And now Walters was a senior too, so like that's somebody who's Cheadle is a senior this year, right? So he was a junior last year. Yeah, so he's
and the
upperclassman,
thing, but the thing with Cheadle is where he had 61 catches, finishes that was 651. So a lot of those I feel like are short catches, so you might not get a lot of yards. But with it being a senior, a new year in Coach Blair's
Let's
offense,
be honest, too. They play down. You know what I mean? Usually they're down in points. They got to throw
Yeah.
the ball. That's the way you have to think fantasy.
Absolutely, yeah. So number 3, this one's a toss-up. So 3 and 4, neck and neck. It's going to be Caden Cutright, and it's going to be Aiden Dunn. That's my 3 and 4 spot.
Okay.
So, or it could be my 4 and 3 spot because they're pretty interchangeable. I think they're going to have pretty similar seasons.
Yeah.
And then the 5th spot, I have somebody else, but I'm actually going to switch it to I think Carson Free is going to
Okay.
get up there. With as much,
You saw me looking at that. That's not even on that screen. This dude
It's
didn't
not,
have it on
it's
the
not,
list.
it's not.
He stole that from me, bro. He was my number 1 on my notes, and it ain't on that computer. I'm calling you out.
it is not on my computer at all.
But it's the number 1 on my notes right here.
But the reason I have him is because really the
stole my
1,800
phone.
yards for Braylon Robinson, I was like, there's no way they're not playing 11 in the box every single down against him. Like,
Yeah.
which says something for Carson Free being 3rd in receiving yards when you have a running back that's got 1,800 yards.
Yeah,
You know,
I feel like a lot of his plays were big plays. I have some other things I'll say about him later on in the show. Though.
I will say honorable mention for me, Blake Hoops.
Yeah.
That's who I had at my 5 spot. But just for the sake of not doubling down on one team. I'll
Yeah,
switch
no,
it
it makes
up.
sense. Tony, would you like to go second, or do you want me to go second?
Can you see my phone?
No, I cannot see your phone. It's over there.
You can go.
Okay. So I will go. Number 1 is Sean Terry. This kid from Ironton.
The second.
Yeah, Sean Terry the second. Like he said, Had offers from Michigan and a lot of other places.
Oh,
to
dude,
go
Michigan,
to Mizzou.
Notre Dame, Louisville,
Yeah.
like so many people.
He's going to be a big time athlete, big time player to watch down there. Just to give you an idea, last year 27 catches, 525 yards.
Yeah, Division I offers, Notre Dame, Indiana,
Yeah, he's
Oklahoma,
averaging
Tennessee.
19 yards a catch, huh?
How many games did he play?
All of them.
I want to say they played 12 games because they had 2 playoff
13.
games. They played 13.
Yep.
Yeah. They lost to Harvest Prep, who easily had like the hardest run. Like they lost to Perry, who won this Division V state championship, beat Ironton, beat Wheelersburg, and beat another like 2 other schools to like in the playoffs. And I was like, that's a hell of a run.
In front of him? 27 just seems like a low amount of receptions.
Low amount of receptions, but big play
Oh
possibility.
no, he's
Yeah.
obviously.
How many
good. I'm
touchdowns
just
did he
saying,
have?
Why?
So he had 14 total. No, he had 5 rushing touchdowns and 9 catching touchdowns.
That's insane.
I thought he had 19. I think he had some pick sixes in there for his
Makes sense.
19 overall because
Yeah.
he's a stud on both sides of the ball. Which a stacked Ironton defense. That's why I feel like Ironton's defense is going to be kind of high on some lists just because of their scoring ability on the same end. Plus Ironton, they
For
schedule.
me, I'm staying away from their defense just because I don't know.
They schedule tough, man. They
That is
don't
it,
just
yeah.
schedule a cupcake schedule. They go and the reason they're going deep into the playoffs every single year is because 1 of great coaching and 2 great scheduling. So there's going to be games where they got to air it out. They can't just turn around and hand the ball off every single play.
I think it's a sin if this kid doesn't have 48 receptions in a season.
Yeah. Well, that has to tell you something about the running game, or if it's just catch touchdown. But I mean,
Then do it again.
yeah,
Come on,
exactly.
what do you?
Number 2.
27 receptions, 9 touchdowns receiving. That is literally 33% of the time he touches the ball, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Send it.
now, do we know what side of the ball he's going to be playing in college? Because that could be a big factor of why he's only getting
wondering if it's
27. Because if he's
almost
like a
nerfed.
defensive god, then we might have just.
I don't know.
We
'cause
might be able
all
to
of
carry
his
over.
films
Like
wide
he's getting
receiver.
nerfed.
Yeah.
For a good reason. They're smart. I'm not saying it's them, but like it just seems crazy.
Number 2, had him high on my list. Carson Free, I have him there. What I was gonna say earlier with him, I had him a little bit higher. Actually, I had him at 1 until I did some more research. But the Braylon Robertson effect scares me, but not too much to put him lower. Just for the simple fact, he only had 53. He had 53 receptions, so that's 4th in the league. And then he had 9 touchdowns, which is 5th in the league. So I feel like, and with his yards, he's at 808, 3rd in the league. So I feel like whenever he's catching its big play, a lot of big play ability, he's going to be a senior this year. So I think he's going to have to step up and actually take over a lot more games. I feel like a lot more targets might be going his way. I think you could see him ending in the top 2, maybe challenging
Barbar's
Cheatham for
back,
number
right?
1. Huh?
Yeah, I think
Preston's back, right?
Yeah.
We're missing the biggest point. I feel like this kid's going to take a next step as well, and that's going to be huge for that team.
So
Honestly,
He was
I could.
supposed to be a nobody last year.
I could say Free is going
I
to be
believe
higher on my board just because of the quarterback questions for both Zane Trace and Unyota.
There's no question for Zane Trace.
But yeah, and that was
baby.
another thing too. Preston coming in,
is true.
he had a full offseason last year, but that full offseason is probably just trying to build rapport with the wide receiver. And then you have to think never playing on the field with each other ever. Last year was the first time. They're just trying to figure it out while you have Braylon Robertson back there just being an animal. So I think you're going to see a lot more throws that Preston throws to Carson that maybe he didn't throw last year because he didn't know, hey, can you catch it backside shoulder? Can you actually burn this guy? Can I throw
And there
it
might
like
be
that?
some ones that maybe somebody like Free maybe have dropped that he's going to be like, oh, well, I know instead of it being here, it's going to be in a different position, or I'm going
I
to
think
more
they
know where
use
his
him
ball's
more
going.
in like mid-range territory. When
Yeah.
they needed a play, they threw it to him and he climbed the ladder and would get it. Like amazing wide receiver. I just think this time now it's going to be more of design plays specifically just for him rather than being like beat this guy. We'll find you.
Right, and we have Corey Dye on later. Maybe he might give us some inside info. Probably won't. because that'd be terrible for him to do for his team. But we're going to ask. So, number 3, I have him a little bit higher on my board than you did as well, Adam. Blake Hoops, I have him in there. I think between Caden Cutright and Blake Hoops, that's where a lot of the shares are going to go. David Long, I don't want to say he's a big question mark. It's just there's definitely a question mark there. Haven't really seen him play varsity, so we just don't know what we're going to get.
We saw him play a little bit at the running back spot.
Exactly.
We know he's got some wheels on him.
So we definitely know he has that varsity experience, but
good linebacker.
Yeah, I think it might take maybe a couple of games for him to learn to read the varsity defenses in real time, so that could hurt Blake a little bit in that. Also,
with Grace being a two-way player, I feel like it could help him. It's going to help him make up for that. That's
exactly, and I think Caden Cutright is going to be.
I said Grace, didn't I?
Yeah,
I
think Cutright's going to be more on the defensive end of threat, so they might stay away from him on the offensive end to save him. I think you'll see Cutright kind of come in there in bits and pieces. I think when Cutright touches the ball, it'll be big play.
Big plays.
But I think it's only going to be maybe about 2 or 3 catches a game, if I had to guess. Then number 4, we talked to him last week, Aiden Dunn. I feel like because he is going to be the number 1 option for Zane Trace, I feel like Gunna the Stun is going to be really good for him. I think that he's going to be able to move the ball, throw the ball in the right places. I, though, don't know what to expect from the Zane Trace team. How is that front line going to look compared to last year? Are they going to run the ball like they did last year a lot? Aiden Dunn, he finished 7th in the league with 46 receptions, and then 6th in the league, 665 yards. Touchdown-wise, he was at 6 as well. So that's like right middle tier. But, again, he had to deal with Blake Phillips last year. You know, Gunna the Stunner was really just coming onto the scene. So didn't know. Well, we didn't know if the coach was going to put that trust in him, but then he came out in that Dina game, and he was just slinging that thing. So it's just a little too much uncertainty.
Hot was slinging that.
I want to say he got a little bit of playing time in the last game of the season, right? Second week of playoffs.
Who?
Stunner.
Yeah.
I want to say he got a little bit of play.
I feel like they did some like.
I want to say. Carter Langley.
Yeah.
I want to say he might have got a little because he was already battling.
He was a little
injury.
banged up, so I think that's what and that was the thing too. Gunna the Stunner was a wide receiver before he was playing quarterback. So then you instantly take a experienced wide receiver away, and who do you think he's probably looking to every single time he's throwing the ball? His other wide receiver that he was out there with. They probably already have that chemistry.
Dude, could you imagine if they had a quarterback that was just as good as Gunna the Stunner, and he was still out there because he's like what 6'5".
Yeah.
And size too.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you forget about size 2? Gunnar McStunner's favorite weapon.
Hold on, I got my number 5. For a lot of reasons, you say Gage Cheadle.
Yeah.
Number 1 in receptions. I feel like he's going to finish there or 2 again. The things that I kind of brought up whenever you were talking about him that scared me a little bit was the 651 receiving yards off of 61 touches. Not a lot of big plays there, and when it came to touchdowns, he had 7. So I'm not mad about that. Just definitely someone that if you wanted to go later round wide receiver 1, you could take him and you'd be A-okay with.
Oh no, I think he's going to be the best wide receiver too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely number 1 wide receiver 2. But say you go running back, quarterback. Well, you're not going to, I feel like, maybe have a lot of wide receivers left.
He's like a Golden Tate.
Yeah.
He is
very reliable.
Yeah.
Very reliable.
Super reliable hands will get you the reception.
Golden Tate was just disrespectful to people, though, dude.
I love Golden Tate.
I'm surprised he didn't get beat up more or fought at least. He was just.
I feel like somebody probably did. He handled his business and nobody wanted it from then on.
Yeah. Tony, who's your top 5?
I got Carson for E1.
Okay.
I'm going to move him down just real quick. Hold on. I'll take this Sean Terry guy. He wasn't on my original list, but I had a couple hyphens, so I'll take that guy.
Gotcha.
I don't know anything about him, but you guys definitely just convinced me. Jesus Christ. That's in 33% of the time he touched the ball on offense.
Yeah.
Touchdown. And then, how many times did he touch it on defense? Probably semi.
Which is saying something.
I'm going to go Silas Stewart over Aiden Dunn. The reason being, I think, again, I said it last week, he makes the plays when they need to be made. I feel like every time he gets the ball, it's like when they're drawing it up, it's exactly what it is. I feel like Silas Stewart is going to increase the receptions this year. I think that's going to help him. I feel like he is just that dude that's going to get chunk plays, almost like a Jimmy Graham, not play style or anything, but just where you were like third down, and instead of going for 3, you go for 17, and he's old reliable. So that's why I think I'll pick Silas Stew over Aiden Dunn. I like them both, obviously.
Do we know what their running back situation is over there?
No
Because
idea.
I know.
Whatever that means is it helps.
Because
Yeah.
Blake
If
Phillips,
we don't know it, that
Blake
means-
Phillips was a senior last year, so it's going to be hard to fill those shoes. But I feel like that's one thing that Zane Trace does a really good job of is replacing the running back, because they've always notoriously been a ground and pound team because of that freaking mud line down the middle of their field that was terrible. But now they got great, amazing turf. So,
It is a great field. I'm going to go Blake Hoops over Caden Cutright. And I actually had Caden Cutright first just because I think he's going to get a lot more receptions and things like that. But one thing I realized last year is you have to put your speedy corner on him. So I felt like he didn't necessarily get as many balls, but he also helps Blake Hoops by taking somebody that might be the speedy guy that, is kind of his forte on the other side. So I'll go with that. And then Joey Francis.
oh no, yes.
That was one that.
So I had Joey Francis as my number one honorable mention. I would have had, if Lucas King was coming back this year, I probably would have had him 4 or 5 on my list. But that is a huge question mark at wide receiver or quarterback on who's going to be throwing him the ball. And going into the season, I think he's going to be a great wide receiver too, no matter who's throwing him the ball. But
He, the thing that I like about him most is like the Adena team is still a year older. Like when we printed that roster last year, it was insane how young it was, and we were like, Lucas King is going to grow with this team. I essentially speaking, he should be at a better skill level, and the quarterback play, a sophomore Lucas King is going to be probably pretty equivalent to whatever they find. Like,
Yeah.
Lucas King showed promise, but I'm saying at that time, it's not like we truly sat there like he had enough time in the pocket, but to really like do anything that truly impressed us. But when they drew up the play, Joey Francis is the man.
and I felt like Joey Francis was the guy that they were trying to go to a lot.
I was more excited for Lucas King as a basketball player out there at Adena.
Yeah.
Like I know he was going to
That's
be
true.
like senior year starting QB was probably going to be a pretty solid guy out there, but I was
No,
ready
he's
for
a
his
junior
basketball
now.
career.
Yeah, he was
Well,
only
he
a
was-
sophomore last year. Yeah. So that's what.
He's
Oh yeah, that's
dude,
I
he
know.
was-
That's what I'm saying. Like
Oh,
in
yeah.
a few years when he would have
Yeah.
been a
Oh,
senior.
yeah.
The now the Eastern Eagles, they had some good wide receivers, but I feel like they're going to be a ground and pound team a lot this year. They lose their 2 star receivers. They have Wyatt Richardson coming back. He's at 22. He was averaging about 22.5 yards a game. Not a lot of touchdowns. He had a couple. I just think the way that Tomlinson likes to play out there, that's going to be a lot of on the
That
on the
Miami
ground.
Trace quarterback came back, right?
Yes.
He loves to run the ball, so it's like
Yeah, and they had a great wide receiver last year. I want to say his name was Guess.
Yeah.
He had 54 yards a game. I mean, and but he only had 4 total touchdowns.
they had the
Was he
dual-headed
at Trace?
running- Yeah,
Huh?
they had
Miami
the dual,
Trace,
They
yeah,
had the
okay.
dual-headed running backs.
Yeah.
Well, I would say
They
Hillsborough
had
also
2
had dual-headed running backs
They had 2
too.
fantasy starting running backs.
Yeah, they had LeBeau and Baker. They finished with
No,
6
I
and
was
4.
thinking of Trace then. Yeah.
And then LeBeau was averaging 127 yards a game. So, but he was a senior. Now you have Baker out there. He was a freshman last year, averaging 58 yards a game. So he definitely has the experience. But
See, I think he's got a decent amount of receptions or something.
Yeah,
that
well,
kid was all over the stats.
that's what I'm saying. He was more of like a flex player because he was going to be going out there for,
Yeah.
like you said, well, maybe not lining up out receiver, but just catching out of the backfield. Now Hillsborough, whenever we come to running backs, that's going to be a team that I want to look heavy into because I think that last year they had senior Austin Barrett. He was averaging 158 yards a game.
Yeah, he was going off.
Yeah, and then they have Hoxel. He was a sophomore last year, averaging 71. So I feel like if they're giving Barrett 158 yards a game, they're going to just put Hoxel right back in there right in that spot and go right back to the ground and pound as well.
You
so
said Barrett, he graduated, right?
yes, yeah, he was
so
a senior.
I feel like that's going to be
Did I have him?
Hoxel's fucking.
I'm almost,
yeah, you drafted him in the mid-season draft, and Barrett had 15
Shout out
touchdowns.
to us for doing that. That was pretty sweet.
Huh?
That was pretty cool
Right.
of us to do that. Just add people mid-season. Who came up with that idea?
But
Us.
Austin Barrett, he had 15 touchdowns, but guess who had him tied for first? Hoxel.
Hawk Tua?
Hawk Tua. Good old Jevin Hawk Tua was getting right behind him for 15 touchdowns.
I'm so annoyed by it on social media, but I still am.
Yeah.
But I think that's showing that whenever they're getting anywhere near the end zone, turn around handing off the ball. So I think whenever we come to the running back section, and we didn't even mention a lot of great running backs already.
Buddy Wilson was a junior, by the way.
Well,
Yeah, Buddy Wilson was a junior.
he was a junior, so he's coming back next year. You have
know
Aiden
what I'm gonna
Rocky
look
Jones. I think Aiden
Aiden
Rocky
Rocky
Jones is
Jones.
more of a flex player because he has so many rushing. He had 75 yards a game rushing, and he also had 46 a game in receiving with 14 total touchdowns.
Now, a guy that has a lot of receiving yards that come. So Lane Hayburn, he's a guy from Vinton County. He's going to be like I think their biggest fantasy option. He's a running back, but he's caught so many passes out of the backfield.
Now, in this year's draft, we'll go a little bit deeper on this fantasy just because I love it. In this year's draft, I feel like last year it was our first time, and a lot of strategies were a lot different. With the kind of players that we have in this year's draft, do you think it's probably smart to go wide receiver heavy or running back heavy early in the drafts?
If I'm being completely honest, you're going to have to pick it on the fly.
Yeah.
It's where it's at because I think running backs will go pretty early.
Yeah, I think that should be the
there's
first.
as many of them.
I think running back should be kind of everybody's first pick.
So that's what I was thinking in the first round. It will probably just be straight running backs. In that second round, if you're
Second and third,
because we plan to have 6 teams just to expand on last year. So if you're picking second and then you're picking, what would that be?
Strictly outside looking
still
in.
going RB.
Yeah, outside looking in. I think there'll be
Guaranteed
there'll be teams that go running back heavy and go wide receiver heavy. That second round is what's going to decide it. So the first person to pick a wide receiver in that second round, I think they're going to be more a wide receiver heavy team. And if you're picking running backs,
Yeah,
you're going to.
Yeah, because once you pick that top wide receiver,
If it's 6 picks, I think the whole first round should be damn near running back.
Oh yeah, round one. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think that third to fourth pick in the second round is where things are going to get interesting because you had the top at that point, 8 running backs go off the board, 9 possibly. So then you're looking at running backs that are maybe a good 2, but on your next time around with that double pick, you might not get a wide receiver 1. So if you're trying to get 2 of the best, is it really? Are you trying to get to the number 1 and 2 positions, or are you just trying to double up on one position?
You got to think QBs too. Like
Yeah.
my thing is if I come out and I pick a little bit late in the first round and I get a double running back, I'm not saying I wouldn't pick a QB. I'd obviously most likely pick a wide receiver. But if you're kind of sitting there, you're guaranteed touches with 3 players probably getting you very good points at that point.
Yeah.
Now,
Like-
we don't do snake draft in the actual fantasy draft, right? It's just regular like NFL draft. That's what we did last year.
We did that last year.
Yeah, I think that's.
That's what we do, of course.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I definitely don't.
in the on show we do the snake draft, but I think we try to keep it as close to the NFL draft
There's
wise.
still kind of only 6 picks, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against taking a quarterback in the second round either.
Yeah,
I'm just really not.
I'll take a defense early.
Especially
as hell.
if it's an SVC quarterback because they're
took
probably going to
Pike.
get a lot of runs in there as well.
That's the thing. Just with the teams, the pool of teams that we're using, yeah, it's gonna be running back heavy. Unless you get that guy that's like, oh yeah, well our quarterback's gonna rush for like 1,000 yards and also pass for like 1,000, and it's like, okay, that's number 1 pick.
See,
Like,
because I'm sitting there.
Dude, look at Piketon. That Golan's, he's probably gonna get.
I'm sitting there.
stacked this
Okay,
year. It's like, I'm not saying
you're
that's the guy
say
to
you're the
pick.
number 1 pick, right? You pick Braylon Robertson number 1. I think like consistently we haven't done the rankings yet, but he's going to be pretty high on our boards, right?
Buddy Wilson, but yeah.
You're coming back second round, all right? 5 other running backs have gone. You're going to have some good running backs there. But a
But who
player
would they-
like Sean, like Terry, I mean, he's probably going to produce a lot of points. And if you don't take him
I
there,
want to know more research on this. How do you have 27 receptions and you're getting?
that's what I'm saying. When you're talking about there has to be that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Then
is he a corner?
Yeah, he's a DB.
Yeah. So he had like what we said, like 24 total touchdowns, 5 of them rushing, and then 9 of them.
Yeah,
we get all
that's
of
that's
those in our
13.
league. Yeah.
Plus you get like 4 points for a
You're
pick.
right. You're
You
right.
know, 2 points for a slot or something like that.
Yeah.
We did good.
You
good.
just upgraded my
Yeah,
draft.
yeah, we went heavy on like the defenders as well, just because like they shouldn't be punished. Just like it shouldn't count as just a defense. Like
Zane
the actual
Brownfield.
individual player playing both sides
Zane
should get
Brownfield
it.
scores a touchdown on
Yeah.
offense and defense in the same game.
Yeah.
We won both.
Yeah.
See, I just think this year, last year, I feel like the wide receiver pool, you had a top tier, and then it really kind of fell off after that. This year, I don't think that's the case. I think that there's going to be a lot of wide
The
receivers.
running backs are that way.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's by committee is a big thing nowadays.
Yeah.
I just
The
feel
problem
like-
is not the problem, but the thing is, a lot of those committees are about even touches,
and it's tough.
but they're
What
big
happens
even.
if Zane Trace,
I mean,
Blake Phillips off the board?
If you drafted both of the Hillsborough running backs, you were getting 30 touchdowns that year.
Because I want to say I had
15
LeBrooks.
apiece. Huh?
I had the LeBeau.
LeBeau.
Yeah, LeBeau. I had LeBeau on my team, I want to say, which he produced well. And then the other, which he was a Miami Trace, which they had like 2 running backs that produced well, as well as Hillsborough with Baker and Barrett.
And both of those duos were senior underclassmen. So is it still going to be running back by committee, or is it going to be, man, we both realize that we have 2 dogs here?
Damn, now you're expanding that pool. Big
That's
time.
like
But we
Brown for Vinton County and Hayburn. Like Hayburn didn't get a lot of touches, but like he had explosive plays to where like I think he's going to be their running back this year. He's going to be their guy in the backfield.
So I think there's going to be a lot to talk about whenever we do top
gotta look
top
at the
5 running
offensive
backs.
lines too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you like with these, I
Yeah.
want to know who's coming back.
Yeah.
That's the thing that scares me. Is why I didn't take any Vinton County players today. I might not take any next. Is they graduated a lot
Mass
of people.
exodus.
Yeah.
Where that's the thing about that.
I'm confident Marcus Game's going to get that defense right though.
That Adina team, if they whatever quarterbacks.
Now, a school that we didn't draft from 4 wide receivers that I think we should talk about for a minute is Westfall, because I do think Logan Stepp likes that.
I was gonna before I realized Walters was a senior and graduated. I had him on my list,
and that's what I think that's how Stepp likes to run his offense, is going through the air.
But Wickline's gone, right?
Huh? Yeah.
So who's throwing the ball?
Exactly. That's why I couldn't go with any Westfall guys, So I got to do, before the draft, got to do a little bit more research on that for sure.
100%.
And we might not know a lot of this stuff until it actually like 3 weeks in, and it's like, all right, well, these guys are coming out of nowhere.
We're
going to
be coming back to these top 5 picks looking probably pretty soon.
We'll clip all this stuff so that way 3-4 weeks into the season we can be like, bozos.
Yeah.
What an idiot that guy was saying all that.
The one thing I'll say is this year I feel like we'll be able to actually also watch more of the game, figure things out. Like last year was hectic. We tried the best we could to give the best product, but it was like, I mean, shoot, by the time you're there, you're like, this is football. Like, let's go. But
any other wide receivers before we move on that we didn't talk about, you guys maybe wanted to talk about a little bit? I think, nope.
No.
All right. Well, make sure you tune in next week. I think next week we're going to be doing quarterbacks. We're trying to save the running backs for the end because that's definitely the number 1 position that you want to look forward to. So next week we'll be doing quarterbacks. Now, next up, one of my new favorite segments, Start Bench Cut.
That's a good one, yeah.
Got to keep it going.
I swear
he
doesn't say bench.
Huh?
I swear
Start
he said-
Bench Cut.
Oh, bench.
Yeah. If you guys are new to the show and the segment, start, you can have it every single day of your life. Bench, you can only have it every once in a while. And cut, you can never have it again. We're starting with the breakfast today, boys. We're going with donuts, muffins, cinnamon rolls. Start, bench, cut.
Easy.
All right, Adam, go.
I'm starting cinnamon rolls, I'm benching donuts, and I'm cutting muffins.
All right.
No questions.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Derek.
Let the record show Derek is in
very
agreement
much
with me
agrees.
again.
Very much agrees. I will go start donuts. As much as I want to start cinnamon rolls, like I have to put them on the bench.
Yeah.
Because if I eat them every day, my wife will die. And then I'm getting muffins out of here. But I love muffins.
I was surprised you got Apple Jacks.
Yeah, I got shit about it when we got at the store.
I've been trying to eat as much bowls as Apple Jacks to make sure they're gone.
Yeah, I literally got Frosted Flakes put them in there, and then I got the Apple Jack. She goes, the cinnamon one, huh? Okay. So that's the one I'm going to go with. I just feel like cinnamon rolls, man. Oh, my God, they're so good. Tony.
Cut.
You're cutting cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
All right. So who are you starting in
Donuts,
benching?
of course.
Okay, and then you're benching muffins.
If not, it's the perfect delivery system ever.
I love donuts.
I'm going muffins because it's for the rest of my life. So like cinnamon buns, I can also feel.
No, not cinnamon buns.
Cinnamon rolls. There's
Big
a difference.
Can you show me pictures of the difference?
A cinnamon roll
Cinnamon
has
rolls
the
like the
icing
ones
on it.
Yeah, you can buy like in the little things. Like the cinnamon, I think those are just coming from like Cinnabon, like the cinnamon buns.
What's a cinnamon roll?
It's like the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls.
It's just
And what-
dough that's wrapped up like this.
And what's the other one?
A
You
bun
said-
with cinnamon on it.
It might just be the difference between pop and Coke.
No, cinnamon buns don't have any icing.
What?
Yeah, they just have
I thought
cinnamon.
this was the same thing my whole life. I'm
No.
learning something here. Either way, yeah, I'm still.
He said, either way, don't give a shit. Get
Well,
out.
no, it's like I just feel like muffin again is a perfect delivery system for an assortment of different things.
Yeah, I
It's
like.
like
See,
I'm
my thing is, I
stuck
only
in
like
one
blueberry
zone.
muffins, and I was like, I
See,
can't.
now
Just
See,
me.
now this says that Google says it's the same thing, but Google's
Thank
wrong.
you!
Google's wrong.
Google's
No,
wrong.
it's a vernacular thing. I'm telling you, this is Northeast probably calls them cinnamon buns, and you guys call them cinnamon rolls.
Because they're
What the
rolled.
hell is that?
They're rolled. They're twisties.
But the
All
roll's
right.
cut up. The roll's here, and then they cut it.
Nuh-uh. They still come rolled.
No, the rolling's
Like a
happening
little-
before it's cut. You're missing the point. You're not okay. When you make what you're talking about.
Yeah, don't get me started on that one. Okay.
What is gas meters?
Next one. Start bench cut. Adam Sandler, Kevin Hart, Will Ferrell.
I'll go.
You go first?
Wow, Will Ferrell he's my start.
Okay.
Adam Sandler's my bench, and I'll cut Kevin Hart.
This is why I call them cinnamon rolls, because it says on the package cinnamon roll, not bun.
I was poor.
I was poor.
Sorry I didn't have Pillsbury.
Well,
no, I'm just
That's
kidding.
the only thing my family would splurge on.
Like Cinnabon is just like the name brand.
We didn't get Frosted Flakes. We got Flosty
I
Flakes.
never had that either because
Frosted.
it was attached to all of our Annie Ann's, and
I still got
I'm
Frosted
taking the
Flakes, but it
pretzel
just said
over
great
the
value.
Cinnabon every day.
Yeah, I don't like Cinnabon, like, personally.
Yeah, it
No,
was attached to our
it's too
Annie
much.
Ann's. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm never getting.
Now,
it.
Annie Ann's, damn.
That's what I'm saying. They were connected in
Yeah.
like everywhere that I used. to
I
go
love
back
Annie
in
Ann's.
the
I'm not
day.
huge. I'll eat pretzels like that, like the baked pretzels, but I'm not like going out. I just if,
I like
if
getting
it's like
the
at a.
pretzel
I know
bites.
sometimes it'll be at a ball game. I'm picking a dog 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I'll buy a pretzel to throw it on the ground, stomp on it while I'm eating a dog.
If I'm at a
And
ball game,
Start
it's
bench
Annie
cut
Ann's.
Ballpark food.
That's gonna be a tough one.
I think the
Okay,
dog
Adam.
has to take
Adam
it.
Sandler, Kevin Hart,
Starting
Will
Adam
Ferrell.
Sandler, namesake, literally named after.
Yeah.
him. That's where it gets hard, because I'd like to say that means you can't watch Get Hard. Whatever I do now, I can't watch the movie Get Hard.
Yeah.
I got deleted from my life. I love Talladega. I'm benching Will Ferrell.
You're
I'm
benching Will
yeah.
Ferrell. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
It's just tough because Kevin Hart has great stand-up and stuff.
He
But it's
does.
like you're talking SNL for Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler. Like you get so
Yeah.
much with that.
so I'm going with Adam Sandler as my start, basically because his movies are the most nostalgic for my childhood.
I just watched most
Yeah.
of them like
Um,
Saturday.
So Kevin, kind of what you just said, Kevin Hart has great stand-up,
Yeah,
right?
it's the tough
Will
one.
Ferrell has all these great movies. There's one movie though that's like dying on a hill for me of why I want to put Kevin Hart on my bench. The Wedding Ringer. I have never had a movie make me laugh as hard as I have
you
watching
seen
it for
it?
the first time.
I haven't seen it.
I've seen it. For me, Kevin Hart's best role in a movie is Scary Movie 3. I'm just trying to grab some little bit of peanuts.
That's it.
Oh, I'm just trying to grab some nuts. Like him and the dude from Kangaroo Jack are in a tent, and they're like doing Brokeback Mountain stuff, and they keep doing that. Like,
Wait, Kangaroo Jack?
yeah, you never seen
Scary
Kangaroo
Movie
Jack?
3?
Yes, I have.
the-
I just
yeah.
that's nostalgic.
See, but
That's
with
a
Will
great movie.
Ferrell, man, you're missing a lot. Like, I mean, he's in the first Austin Powers or the second.
The SNLs. Dude,
Yeah.
Come on.
He's
Those
in
SNL
Austin
skits
Powers?
back in the day.
Yeah, so you remember? He's like, you must ask me 3 times, and when you ask me the 3rd time, I have to say it. He's like, where is he hiding it? Where is he hiding it? Where is he hiding it? Will Ferrell's the guy that kept getting thrown
Let me
down
give you
the
another one.
cliff.
Zoolander.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
He's in a lot. He's even a side five.
I gotta put
Kicking
Will,
and screaming's when we haven't even mentioned yet.
yeah,
Has
I gotta
Mike
put
Ditka
Will
in it.
Ferrell on the bench and cut Kevin Hart. As much as I wanted to bench Kevin Hart and cut Will Ferrell just to make
Both
it different,
of them
but
have too
I
much
couldn't do it.
before
Yeah.
he even existed.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
so and then
Adam Sandler's singing career is awesome. Medium Pace is still one of the most hilariously funny songs
Aquaman,
ever.
Lunch Lady.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the first great songs was the Back to School.
Back to school. Yeah, love it.
Okay, going on to our third and final start bench cut. These are all Blizzards. Oreo, cookie dough, Reese's. Start bench cut.
You go first on this one.
I will start Oreo, bench cookie dough, cut Reese's.
I'm starting Reese's, benching Oreo, and cutting cookie dough.
So I'm cutting cookie doughs. So Oreo, Reese's cookie dough. So I'm cutting.
That an Oreo Blizzard, man, is
It blends.
Derek,
the
where are you
my
at?
yeah,
and
it's
it
so
adds the
good.
cream from the Oreo.
Yes.
It's like real crushed Oreo. So the other things are just candy getting added. That adds a whole. it
Derek,
gets the
what are
candy.
you doing?
Starting Reese's.
Reese's, benching cookie dough.
Yeah. For me, cookie dough is just sometimes it's just too rich for
And
me
it's
to.
sometimes hard.
Yeah.
The problem with me with cookie dough, sometimes they don't put enough cookie dough in
Exactly.
it. That's why I couldn't start it because the best place
You know
actually
what's better
to get-
than a Reese's Blizzard? A Reese's McFlurry. Before they discontinued those
Yeah.
things with the peanut butter recall.
the M&M ones suck.
I'm all
by the
over
way.
Ass.
McFlurry.
Yeah.
Shamrock shake.
The best place to get cookie dough, like
Originating
ice
in
cream though,
Philadelphia.
is like
Oh,
anywhere
nice.
but Dairy Queen because if you go to like just some little shop off to the right of the highway, those places just stuff those things with cookie dough.
Dairy
So,
Queen's like, give them as much as you can fit in this scoop.
Yeah.
But that scoop doesn't apply to all of the dressings.
No.
Like when you're trying to get cookie dough, it's like bigger balls with maybe some chocolate chips and stuff, and it's like you really one scoop.
Honestly,
Yeah.
for reals that you can get at a gas station, those Reese's are better than a Reese's
Oh, yeah,
Reese's
100%.
Blizzard. But I'm still starting the Reese's Blizzard. I'm still starting it.
all right.
Not.
Well, that was another great segment of Start Bench Cut. That one was kind of hard to come up with, just because. Or
It was probably because of the activity that we did right before you started coming up with them.
yeah. All right. Now this next segment I have tweaked a little bit. I'm not gonna say it. This is called. We're doing basically 2 truths and a lie. Instead of me saying something and you tell me if it's a truth or a lie, I'm gonna read off 3 things, and you gotta tell me which one's the truth and obviously the other 2 would be a lie. You 2 ready?
Yeah.
All right. Round 1.
Yeah.
Bill Wilson, the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, requested whiskey while dying. Wilson asked for 3 shots of whiskey as he was dying, saying, never mind, I can't read that last part. I read it in my head. I was like, no. Number 2, dodgeball originated with rocks instead of rubber balls in England, where the British Army would use it as a test to see who would actually be a good warrior. Number 3, Eminem actually tried to be a country singer before going down his road to becoming a rapper. Which one are you guys picking?
We get to consult.
No,
I thought we were. I
You're
thought
going against each
Damn
other.
it!
Okay,
Damn
we
it!
are now futurely making a segment where we get to consult. Because that
Yeah,
was
I know we were about to get it.
both of us looked at each other. You link up.
All right, fine. I'll let you consult. One unified answer.
Now, the movie Dodgeball is making me think that the dodgeball one's wrong because that happened in Chinese opium dens when they would behead people. They'd be through. But I don't know how true dodgeball is as a movie.
I'm kind of saying I felt the same way. I felt like that was like something you might believe in, but like it's called dodgeball as well. So like if anything, it would have had to been called like Dodge Rock at
Yeah.
that time. But What was the third?
Well, I mean, if
the first one was some dude yelling out about whiskey. He probably did that.
he was the founder of Alcoholic Anonymous and then started drinking during his last day. He had 3 shots right before he died. So the founder of Alcoholic Anonymous died because
if I
of
quit
alcohol.
drinking right before I died, the last thing I would want to do is
You talk
I'd
about how
want
you don't do it your whole life, and you're like, man, I'm about to die. I might as well see what's good.
or
I
he's
think
like
that's
he's
how-
just yearning for it. He's like, I quit. I used to be an alcoholic. I'm not anymore. I'm about to die. Give me that hit of liquor.
Yep. I
So
think
that's
right,
true.
too. Yeah, I go dodgeball rocks.
Wait, so which one's the true one?
I thought it was 2 truths and a lie.
No, it's 1 lie and a truth, so I said it wrong.
Whole game just changed. All right, so the truth is
1 truth
the
and
AA
2
guy?
lies.
I feel like the AA guy seems legit, but he read that one first too. The rock thing's probably fake. Third one was
Eminem wanted to be a country singer before he became a rapper.
I feel like wasn't he a rapper at like 17?
Yeah,
that
that's
probably wouldn't
like
have
fake
fly.
to me.
And I feel like somebody would have ripped on that in a rap battle. But again, that's probably the truth. But maybe the whiskey guy is true.
That's true to me.
Whiskey. Feels true to me too. Whiskey guy.
Whiskey guy is the correct answer.
Let's
Congratulations.
I am so pumped.
Alrighty. Round 2. 1 truth and 2 lies. Should have said that right the first time. Gave it a little twist there in the middle. Alrighty.
This is 1 truth, 2 lies. Got it.
All right. Helena Elementary, located in Alabama, had banned glue from the years 1995 to 1996 due to the amount of times kids were eating it based off truth or dares or just the insight to want to know what it tasted like.
Damn, that sounds really true.
Xbox got its
You ever
name
tested
from its founder, Seamus Blackley, telling his co-founders that his console is going to be so good that they were going to X out all the other consoles. 3, ketchup was once sold as medicine.
And only one of these are true.
Only one of them is true.
I think ketchup might have been medicine.
I wouldn't be fucking surprised.
That just sounds so far fetched. What was the first one?
Helena Elementary School of Alabama had banned glue from the year 1995 to 1997 due to kids trying to eat it too much from truth or
Like, I
dares
feel
or
like
just
that's-
You
exploring
see
the
how
taste.
much longer that one is than the other ones?
Yeah, but it's like that's when glue dropped. I tested it. Did you test it? Did you ever eat glue?
I probably did.
Yeah, you ever lick?
I'm
a
not
glue
smart
stick or
enough
try
to
did not,
say that I didn't.
Would you?
Yeah.
Did you ever try Elmer's or lick a glue stick or something?
I was more of a chalk kid.
Chalk kid. Man, I feel like glue drops. Elmer's is big. Kids are all around it. Of course, you're gonna be being like, eat that.
It looks like mayo.
And then what?
And then the third one is Xbox got its names from its founder, Seamus Blackley, telling his co-founders that the console was going to be so good that they were going to X out any other console.
X out the competition.
Xbox.
That's probably the lie. Watching you. I don't know what you think.
That first one's probably the only true one.
That's what I jumped at. We'll go with that. Glue
Alabama
guy.
kids eating glue.
Nope. Ketchup used to be a medicine.
I should.
I thought you were going to get
rocked
it.
with it.
I
God
knew you were
damn
going
it.
to get
You
it.
should have fought for it.
I know.
You never played
As soon as Adam said it, I'm like, what are the odds of
Just
that?
immediately.
for
Just
So-
what? Does it say for
damn
what?
it.
No, I didn't
It's
get
a
that.
sin.
They probably had like cocaine in it or something.
That's
like,
what I was thinking. I was thinking like, because there's
This
vinegar
is
or
hard
something.
with products now because I'm like, it's just acidic. There's
So,
no medical reason for us.
When you said, well, that one's just so far-fetched, I was like, well, that one's short. I'm going to make 2 long ones that look like I just copy and pasted from the internet.
Oh, you're making these?
Yeah, I just made them up.
Yeah.
That changes the way I think about this.
Yeah. Okay. So that was
That's
a good
why
one.
we even kind of went with that first
Yeah.
one too.
Yeah. I really thought as soon as he said it, we got, that's the
You
only
just
ones.
upped us though. We're
You
like
can ask
AI.
Derek.
We are learning each time.
Yeah.
Bet.
You
We're
can
gonna
ask
figure this
Derek.
out
I was
now.
in here for a long time trying to figure out those lies. The truths are easy. The lies, to make them sound like something believable for you guys, not.
good.
If you'd have used any other state other than Alabama, I would have picked ketchup.
That was my thing.
That's why I went with Alabama. I'm
Like,
sorry,
Alabama's so
Alabama.
down south, they got glue late.
That's what I was like.
He played on my prejudice against Alabama.
I was just like,
he played on it.
I was like, what state sounds like
I'm
they'd
just
have to?
picturing a bunch of kids riding Huffy, be like, eat it.
See, I pictured a bunch of kids hanging out with their female cousins doing Alabama stuff.
So yeah, that's why I had to throw the Alabama. I thought if I just said it that you wouldn't be able to go with it. But that's why I had to throw the
I like
Alabama.
to rip on you and Air as much as possible. Very much props.
Yeah.
Like he inceptioned us.
Yeah,
right
he
there.
did.
He literally was like, what state should I pick? Alabama. They're dumb as hell. Like,
I wish I would have been looking at Clay instead of you when I said,
said
the
Ohio?
ketchup thing.
if you said Ohio,
Yeah.
it was a wrap. It would have been ketchup all day.
Yeah, because I feel like Ohio was too close to home. Yep. So, speaking of close to home, we have on our legendary guest. What an intro for that, right? We got to talk about Alabama not even being a lie. But what is not a lie is this man stepped into a program, kept a tradition going, didn't stop winning, continues to win. The one, the only, Corey Nye.
Crazy, man.
What's going on, Coach?
Not a whole lot. Just
Hey,
living the dream.
Did you know that ketchup used to be a medicine?
I did not know that.
Yeah, hey,
Learn something new every day.
And did you know that in Alabama they had to ban glue from 95 to 97 because kids kept eating it? That is a lie.
Yeah,
but I got it.
Elementary. I used to teach elementary, man. They love their glue.
See, that's why I thought it was going to be a good lie. Now, Coach, one thing that is not a lie is your guys' ground and pound game. Last year, Braylon went off insane for rushing yards. I feel like Preston had a good rushing yards, but he did keep a pretty good balance in the passing attack. How do you keep such a good balance whenever you have such an exceptional running game?
Well, we tried to, obviously mix up the run and pass game. When you have a receiver like Carson Free, it definitely helps open up the run attack. And then when teams start trying to take away Carson, then obviously that's going to lighten the box, and then vice versa. When they start loading the box, we got Carson Free that we can throw to. So it definitely helps to kind of have that three-headed monster that we have on our team this year.
And I feel like, too, with Carson and Preston having just another year, another off season, a whole year on the field, are you kind of starting to see them gel a little bit more than you did at this time last year, or how's the off season looking for you guys?
Oh man, 100%. It starts with our 15 seniors that we have. We have 15 seniors this year, which is the most I've had since I've been here.
Yeah, that's
I know
a good
Pete's
thing to
had
have.
A couple of years where he's had that many or more, but we're very, very blessed to have that many. But our kids have done a tremendous job as far as leading our groups. The one thing that I do, and I stole from one of my good friends, Andy Hall, is we put our kids on accountability teams. And we actually have a draft where our seniors will draft all the other athletes. We sit and we have a draft board and everything, and then they choose the kids that they want on their team. And then each and every day that they show up, they get to earn points for their accountability team. And then
That's cool.
what we do is we do this for several weeks. And then at the end, we compile all the points, and then the winning team will get a steak dinner when everyone else gets hot dogs.
Nice.
So
I love
it. Kind of really motivates our kids to work hard. I mean, that's not the only reason they're working hard, because obviously our goal is, to be SVC champions this year. We've fallen a little bit short the last few years, and this senior group wants to be the group that gets it done.
You're right, and you're talking about because last year you guys were looking good. You're undefeated in the conference. And then you have that Uniota game that I felt like the score was obviously big, but I feel like the game really wasn't that far apart. I feel like it was just a play here, a play there, kind of got away from you.
Halftime.
Exactly. And then, you go into the dogfight with Zane Trace, but you still get a playoff win, and then a hard-fought game against Summit Country Day. You talked about having 15 seniors. What is a season like that where I mean, everything's in front of you, everything's going good, and then, the brakes kind of fall off there at the end. Have you kind of seen the end of last season impact how your team's, getting ready for this year?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. We felt like we left a lot out there. That Country Day game, going back to you're talking about the playoff game. Uh, we're within a couple plays of winning that game, and then moving on to the third round. So, our kids, obviously when we left that game, they had a bitter taste in their mouth, and really, it's kind of helped motivate us going into this year. We're not a team that's going to really look ahead of the playoffs because we really feel like if we take care of business on our schedule, then then the playoffs is just going to be that added bonus, and it's really going to prepare us for that. But um, you know, as far as getting in and playing in those big games, I think our kids want more, and so I think that, like I said, the group, the 15 of them, they're really doing a great job of leading our young guys, and man, they've been busting their tails this summer. It's probably the hardest working group I've had, to be honest.
Hungry dogs run faster.
That's what I was thinking, man.
Right.
Whenever you end the season, like you just said, the only thing I feel like you're sitting there thinking about is, man, I can't. Like we were a play away.
Especially when you have that tripod of studs.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Now, Coach, I want to ask you this because I know how big the youth program is at Paint Valley. I mean, I just remember always having like flag football leagues when I was a kid and everything like that.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about your guys' youth program and what you've been doing over the summer and since you've been there with your little cats?
We have a little bit different philosophy than most programs because, as you know, Clay, you were part of this. We just don't have the numbers that everybody else has.
No.
We have currently right now we have 106 boys in our high school, and
I graduated 45 kids in my class, just so we're all clear.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So our goal is we've got to keep kids interested in playing football. So we don't start tackle football until 7th grade. And I know some coaches really don't have that same philosophy, but our goal is we want kids to play football here. We don't want them to get a bad experience because all it takes is one bad experience, and it'll ruin it for them. And we keep everything positive. We keep everything pretty much in-house. This year we're going to explore a little bit with our flag football program where we're actually going to get in the flag football league
Nice.
with the help of some Paint Valley parents and / coaches. They've done a really good job, and we're going to explore that option so that way we can make it just a little bit more competitive. But we've done a really nice job of including our high school players. Our high school players volunteer their time to help out with the flag football program, and we feel like that's an important step too because I mean that's leadership 101. Our kids are getting out there. They're helping the kids, with their positions and learning the game of football. And then, on Friday nights, the kids that are, running around and they're looking out on that field, they're able to see their coach out there playing and wearing the colors that we have. So, but all in all, man, I really feel positive about the way we're handling things here. Obviously, our numbers have increased over the last couple of years in the junior high. So, it's definitely working for us.
And I like that too because you're carrying on tradition, like you know what I mean. Whenever I'm sure it's like everywhere. When you're at Paint Valley, and you're growing up, like you're looking at those guys like they're NFL players. You know what I mean? Because that's during football season, the teachers, the janitors, the administration, the guy that's just chilling outside of Paxton Restaurant. They're all they're talking about is the football team where they're going to do stuff like that. It really feels like you're in like a small Texas town. You know what I mean? When you're watching Friday Night Lights, it kind of hits the home. Like they shut the town down and go to the game. So that's why I like whenever you're getting, the kids involved because it's great for the little kids too. But man, it is also great for the high school kids because one, it kind of I remember when we did it a lot for shoe in basketball camps. We'd have a
Right.
team and we'd coach against each other. One, it gets you competitive between your own players. So then you know when you're out there on the field/court, like, that guy's a competitor. But it also kind of lets you realize, like, oh, damn, like, I'm just coaching for a day. Like, if this coach is doing this every day. Like, it kind of puts the shoe on the other foot there for you. So I'm liking that a lot. Now, another thing I want to ask you, Coach, we know Preston,
Yeah.
we know Carson, we know Braylon. I feel
Yeah.
like you guys have a lot of people that we're overlooking this year for that Paint Valley squad.
yeah.
Can you talk about some of those guys for us?
Oh, absolutely. Again, we're senior led. I mean, yeah, we have 15 seniors, but we also have 28 juniors.
Damn.
So, which is going to be one of those probably never happened before classes.
Literally.
If we can keep our numbers up, but
Hell, that might
but
be
anyway,
the biggest class in Paint Valley history.
exactly.
You graduated
So,
with
but
16 people.
no, we have Caleb Saunders. Caleb Saunders, he started on defense last year, and we were fortunate enough. We had enough offensive linemen that he didn't even have to play on offense unless we needed him.
Oh, nice.
But you want to talk about a monster? I mean, this kid is an absolute beast. He's really done a nice job in the weight room in the off season. He's gotten himself stronger and faster. Probably going to be a collegiate player. His goal is to go play college football somewhere, and I really believe
Nice.
he can do that. But he's going to play on the offensive line for us. Logan Hamlin. Logan Hamlin's a kid. He's also a senior for us. He's been waiting his turn. And, you know, as well as I do, we've had some really good players in the last several years.
Oh, yeah.
And this kid is an absolute beast as well. And we looked for him to, definitely have a big year for us. We have Dress Bolin.
I saw him a lot in West Virginia, man. His
Yeah.
footwork is great for a big man, and the way
Right.
that he moves. I'm scared for the rest of the SBC to see what he does if he has it all together. I haven't
Right.
seen him a lot on the field yet, but I'm high on him this year.
He grew about 4 or 5 inches, man.
Yeah,
And
he is a
and
giant.
just in a year,
Yeah,
his whole body just changed. But I mean, that's 6'5", out at receiver.
yeah,
Yeah.
Throw it
yeah.
up, let him
And
get it.
not only that, he's pretty big.
Yeah.
But we also have like Jeremy Kane. He actually moved in last year, Chillicothe, in the middle of our season. He's a really good athlete. He's a junior this year.
I watched him
Parker
play basketball.
Zamora.
He was pretty quick guy.
He's very fast, very athletic. Parker Zamora is another kid that's been kind of waiting to play as well.
Okay.
And then Jace Reinhardt. Everybody knows who Jace is. Jace is a 3-sport athlete.
I think he kind of flies under the. Everybody looks at him for basketball. I feel like he flies under the radar football wise, though. I feel like he's a hitter. Is he hit?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's the one thing. And, he got on the scale the other day. Told me he's 190 pounds.
Oh,
so
wow.
He's actually gotten a lot bigger, and I think that's really going to help him. Especially with some of those matchups and
Yeah.
what. Then we've got Colton Yoakum, which everybody knows who Colton is.
Colton.
Colton's a good animal.
Yeah.
We started him out in the backfield last year. He was actually one of our wings, and we moved him. We transitioned him to guard. He played line.
Hey.
Right
there with me,
probably
buddy.
one of the
Oh, that
probably one of
kid.
the hardest.
He busts his ass
Yeah.
for you, and he cares. You know what I mean? He's a good lineman because he genuinely doesn't want the other team to hit the quarterback, and that's what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Another name you're familiar with, Mannion name.
Oh,
So CJ's been waiting his turn, man.
Yeah.
And this kid's his dad Corey Mannion played.
Mhm.
He played back in the 90s, and he was on some really good football teams. And unfortunately, I was able to coach his brother, and his brother broke his collarbone and tore his ACL his senior year.
I was going to say, yeah, he
So-
didn't get to go out the way that he should have because he's a pretty
No.
good athlete himself.
Right. So CJ's going to be a good player for us. I'll tell you another kid that's developed is Willie Wheaton.
Yeah.
He's a kid that has grown a lot. I mean, he's very athletic. He can jump out of the gym. He's a kid that we can put at receiver, put at defensive back. He's a pretty athletic kid as well. And then Gavin Bell, this kid has absolutely changed his whole entire body.
Yeah, he's going to have to replace his brother.
4 years. Yes, he's got big shoes to fill, and he actually he got to start some games last year. And then everybody knows his dad, Wes.
Yeah.
Wes is a star at Greenfield McLean, so the Greenfield game is always a big game for Wes.
Oh yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah. I mean, we've got some great players, man, and and I know sometimes they get overshadowed a little bit because we have some dominant players, but I'm proud of each and every one of these kids. I know I'm probably missing some kids. James Annan, that's another kid, another senior. This kid's busted his butt. He got some varsity action last year, and he's also trying to play college football as well. So, but it's a group that I'm excited about. We've got to continue to work this off season, and really I feel like we can do some damage this year, man, and have a really good season.
I think the good thing, too, about having 3 studs out there is all those other great players, like, they get to fly under the radar. I was a guard. So there's no pressure on me. So you're just going – everybody's looking at the McFadden's out there, Mason McCloy. No one's looking at number 53 right next to the center. You know what I mean? So you can just go out there and kind of play ball. And I feel like that's what people like Willie Wheaton, Jace Reinhardt, and them, they're going to be able to excel because everybody has all of their eyes on that backfield and in Carson Free. So I feel like, with everybody looking at those guys, I feel like those guys are really just going to be able to step up this year. Coach, Tony had a question for you if you got some time.
Yeah, what's up?
Couple things. One, beard looks great.
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Beard game is on point, man.
Come on, Chris.
Yeah.
One thing I have to say is, the accountability team, super sick. We had one of those at military school. When you have to take care of somebody else, like it almost makes your problems of the day less.
Yeah.
It's something really big about that. And then even bringing it into the youth, when you say you're involved with that and bringing some of those players down, that's exactly what UNYOTA girls basketball does too. And I don't mean to bring them up, but I just mean when you look at elite teams, you're starting real low.
Yeah.
And I respect the hell out of that. But so we're coming up on our first year of being done.
Yeah.
Okay, I was real nervous in our first show, but we got to talk a little dad talk when it happened. It made me feel like, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, I'm a little older. Maybe I don't belong on this squad. How's dad life going for you? How's coaching the girls' house? Honestly, how you winded down in the off season as well?
So I'm pretty fortunate that I get to also change hats and coach girls basketball.
Yeah.
And Kristen Norman asked me about 4 years ago if I would join her staff to help out because she knew that I had experience coaching girls basketball. Because when I was at Washington Courthouse, I coached for Sam Leach. And so at first it was difficult because, when you make that transition from football, because football really takes a lot out of you. I mean, you devote a lot of time and effort. And by the end of the season, like literally – I go in a coma-like state for like 2 weeks.
I'll blame you.
Just because it really takes it out on you. But she's kind of been good about kind of allowing me kind of just to, kind of ease into it.
Yeah. Just
because she knows how demanding it is. But I've had nothing but fun coaching for her. She's a tremendous coach, and we're very lucky to have her. And Clay knows who she is too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's a
firecracker on that sideline, man. She will, if she does not agree with the referee or how you are playing, she will let you know.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Coach Combs was coaching. He and I would get yelled at quite a bit by the officials because she would get the officials fired up by just a couple of her comments.
Yeah.
And we would just try to, help the officials, right? And they didn't like that a whole lot. So we've been scolded before. And I actually made the mistake. We were at White Oak, and I was probably a little too aggressive on one official. And I actually got Tristan a technical foul, which she hasn't really let me live that down. But
you better say you're playing good cop, bad cop. Come on.
I want to try the bad cop this time.
Right. I'm just glad we won that game because if we wouldn't have won that game, I would have felt really bad. But no, my oldest daughter, she's playing at Muskingum now. She's actually playing basketball there.
Hell yeah.
I think you're alumni there,
Yep.
correct?
Yeah.
Yep, my alumni. That's right. And then I've got my youngest daughter. She's going to be a junior this year. Her name's Karis. So
Hey, she
I'm
just
really
had a big
excited.
weekend over for AAU, didn't she? Her AAU team?
Yeah.
Heck
Yep.
yeah.
So they well, she's not playing AAU this year, but
Oh, gotcha.
Tristan took them, and they did some summer league stuff.
Oh,
and,
okay, gotcha.
They did really well. That's probably what you're talking about.
Yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
coast. But anyway, yeah, it's awesome, man. Like to get that opportunity to coach your kids, and
So how are you
especially
unwinding?
Yeah.
I'm a dad
Are
of
we
two now.
fishing? Are we watching some TV? What are we doing?
So
Going to the
when I
beach?
wind down,
You look a
no,
little
I'm not.
tan.
No, man, I just got back from. We went to the Bahamas, and it was a good trip and all. But like when it comes to relaxing and stuff, I like being on a lake, man.
Yeah.
I'm a lake guy. Country music, which I'm getting ready to go with my best friend Travis, which is Braylon's dad. We're getting ready to Cave Run in Kentucky, and we're going to go boating for 4 days, and I just can't wait for that because that's my relaxed time.
Get you some
But
Yeah.
I absolutely love. I fish all day. I don't have to catch anything at all.
Some ice cold Pepsis in the cooler.
Now, when you're getting some poles in the water, what are you fishing for out there?
So I've been told I'm pretty good. Now, I love bass fishing. I think the most fun fish to catch is a smallmouth because they will fight until the absolute very end.
They're PO.
I mean, you'll have them out of the water and they're still fighting you.
My
They're
biggest
pissed off. They're like, why are they largemouth? Why are they going to be that much better
the
than me?
biggest
That could be a
smallmouth I
different
ever
fish.
caught was about 3 pounds, but it was on we were fishing
Whoa.
for striper, right? So as soon as
Yes.
the tour guide gets the hook out, just throws it back.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, asshole, that's
Yes.
the only fish we caught all day. You didn't even let me take a picture. He's like, that's a tiny fish. I was like, that's the biggest smallmouth I've ever seen. And he just threw it.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, 3 pound smallmouth, that's big, man.
yeah. But, like,
I've got a crazy story. So I'm good friends with Coach Johnny Enos. He used to be the head football coach at Courthouse. He actually got me started in coaching, and he had a cabin down in the Cumberland River. I think it's been about 6 or 7 years ago. So he takes me striper fishing, which I've never caught a striper. I've always wanted to catch one. And on the very last day, he's giving me a bunch of crap about it. And then when you catch a striper, you got to get up early in the morning or you got to fish late at night because they're a sight fish and they're real sensitive to light. So you got to get up like early before the sun. So we get up on my last day. I'm over. I'm feeling bad about it. And I catch a 25-pound striper on the very last day. You want to talk about a rush, man. Them things are awesome.
I don't even fish, and I know that's a giant fish.
I'm looking at him like, who's daddy?
Oh,
I just caught
man.
daddy, bud.
It's like it's a 25-pound bass, man.
Jeez.
I mean, and it turned our boat around. I mean, these things are awesome.
they call them sea bass a lot of times is what I've heard them referred to as. But
Yeah, they're so powerful. It took me 15 minutes to fight this thing.
Now in Cave Run, is that they got walleye down there, right? I'm pretty sure it's a pretty big walleye spot, isn't it?
You know what? This is my first time down at Cave Run. I'm not sure. I know they probably have striper down there, I would imagine, but I'm not sure about walleye.
Oh,
I mean,
Wisconsin's upset. Get some walleye, yeah.
Yeah.
Lake Erie's where the walleye are, man. That's
I just know I went to Kentucky and it was a big lake in Kentucky and it was either walleye or pike that was it's like
Yeah.
the biggest. It was like the most fish in like America, I guess, for that particular fish.
damn.
That's
Yeah.
why I don't
My
think it
buddy
was a
caught an
walleye.
alligator
Just
gar
because
the other day, and I'm like, what the hell even is that?
No
dude?
fun
I'm
is what an
like,
alligator
that looks like
gar
a
is.
Oh man,
dinosaur.
those fish are awesome, man.
Dude, they're the
they're free.
weirdest looking thing I've ever seen.
The only thing I'm fishing
Oh,
for is
without
buttons.
doubt.
All right, hey, Coach, before we get you out of here, we're going to play a little game with you. It's called Start, Bench, Cut, all right? So start means you can have it every day. Bench means you can only have it like a few times a year. And cut means you'll never have it again, all right?
Okay.
Donuts, muffins, cinnamon rolls. Start, bench, cut. What are you doing?
Man, I'm a donut guy, so I got to start donuts.
All right.
We all are.
I like cinnamon rolls too. Probably bench those. And what was the other one?
Cut, that would be muffins.
Muffins, they're out.
Get them gone. All right, number 2. This was a tough one for the three of us. I feel like it would probably be
Okay.
easier for you, though. Adam Sandler, Kevin Hart, Will Ferrell. Start, bench, cut.
Dude, my generation, you know this, man. When it comes to fun movies in the 90s, Adam Sandler's the dude, man.
That's,
Yes, sir.
We
So
all
funny.
picked Adam Sandler.
I still watch Adam Sandler movies, and my wife and I, we went and watched some stand-up comedy last year, and it was okay, but he was kind of doing some of his new stuff, but
Yeah.
man, that was a blast.
Adam
so
just
definitely
rewatched pretty much all the Adam Sandler movies over the weekend. I got to sit in on it. It was a lot of fun.
I was born in '97 when Adam Sandler was popping off, so my parents named me after him.
Oh my gosh! Between
Is it really your namesake?
got
Yeah.
the Water Boy is a classic.
The Water Boy.
I mean, awesome.
The one that
Yep.
me and Adam like a lot, we think's underrated, is 50 First Dates. That is a
Yeah.
treasure of a movie.
It's got Rudy. That's why.
Yeah, treasure of a
Yes.
movie.
So does Click.
I
That's
mean-
another great one.
Is it true? Is Happy Gilmore? Is there going to be a?
I've heard a lot
Happy
of
Gilmore
rumblings
2?
that's coming back on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to go, but I have
I'll
heard
definitely-
rumors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely
Well,
watching it.
Probably my most favorite movie from Adam Sandler, and you guys know Trayvon Bowling, man, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
We literally quote The Longest Yard.
Oh, yeah, I
Adam-
can see
Come on,
that.
why
New
can't I
one.
play quarterback?
The new one.
That's why. Sit down.
Oh my gosh, we literally quote that all the time around here. So
I was about to
that's
say,
pretty fun.
I can see those two football coaches being like, come on.
Yeah.
I would be the guy
Brucey.
that's passed out with I got an egg McMuffin. The fat guy.
Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
Just give me a can of cream corn. I'll be
I'll be
fine.
all right.
Diet Coke.
That's me. If I was on the football team, they'd be like, that's the saying they'd be saying about Archer.
I was thinking more Brucey. Like
I knew I sucked.
Brucey. You want to be quarterback, and then when you get in, you get killed.
Brucey
Hilarious.
had too much. I knew I sucked. Brucey was like, yeah, I could do it. I knew I could. I, was
Yeah.
like, I watched Anthony McFadden throw one time. And I was like, I'm done. No chance. All right.
All right, so,
You got
so
a bench
Kevin
or
Hart-
cut Will Ferrell or Kevin Hart?
man, Kevin Hart's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love him.
See, we went through.
I'm gonna say bench him, and then Will Ferrell. I hate to cut him because he's got some funny movies too.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a tough one, man.
That's what
Talladega
we-
Nights was
that's-
enough to keep him from.
I
me. Like, that
almost
was
said,
it.
have you ever seen the movie Wedding Ringer with Kevin Hart in it?
Yeah,
Thank you. I told them I ended up cutting Kevin Hart, but the one movie I kept coming back to possibly bench him was The Wedding Ringer because it is hilarious. If you guys don't know, he pretty much runs a business where guys hire him to be their best man
Yes.
because they have no friends. It's
you're right.
it is hilarious.
I'd be so good at that.
No,
Oh, dude.
Hype
did you
man
guys
2.0.
watch the Tom Brady roast? Did
Oh,
you guys watch
I
the
didn't
roast
watch
of Tom
it. I
Brady?
just I watched it through Twitter, and it was damn.
So funny, man.
Yeah.
He-
America's back,
off.
baby.
That's exactly everybody was saying on Twitter. They're like, America has finally come together as one.
Let us be funny.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
All right,
Right.
Coach, we got one more for you. These are
Yep.
all Blizzards. Oreo, cookie dough, or Reese's?
Raw Reese's peanut butter cup, man. That's mine. I
Okay.
just had one today. That's one.
Yeah, I love
did.
it.
Did.
That
So,
Dairy Queen is a
I'll-
staple of Bainbridge, man. It is a staple of Bainbridge.
Oh, no doubt. So I'm gonna say Oreo. I'm gonna bench Oreo,
Nice.
and then I'm cutting
Yes, sir.
cookie dough.
That's the exact order Adam
sir.
picked. That's
So
Cookie dough never made it on any list.
All right.
mine.
Derek's.
Oh,
Number two on my.
yes.
The problem with cookie dough, again, if you go to Dairy Queen, you're not going to get enough cookie dough. You got to go to an off-brand place. So, well, Coach, thank you for playing Start Bench Cut with us. Hey, big 7-on-7 Thursday against Eastern, right?
yeah, Beaver Eastern will be there, and then Washington Courthouse. They're
Nice.
coming down. So
All right.
it's gonna be a three-way. It's gonna be pretty exciting.
You
All
say
right.
Beaver
No.
Eastern?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yep.
Now, any other
Yeah, they're
big
good.
things through the summer?
No, not really. I mean, we've got camp in. We've pretty much installed most of what we're gonna run.
Nice.
Not a matter of just getting these guys in shape. And I'm telling you, man, did you guys see my post or hear about the military coming and doing a boot camp with our
Yeah,
kids.
I did see that where they put them through a whole military workout. That had to be amazing
Yeah.
for the players, but they all loved it.
Well, I just surprised them. They didn't know. And
So they probably hated it during the moment.
Yeah.
so I had our local National Guard, phenomenal people. And anyway, I think they brought like six individuals. And so I talked to the drill sergeant like right before. I'm like, hey, I'm going to give you guys an introduction and all that. He goes, nope, don't want that. I said, are you sure you don't want me to introduce you? He goes, no. What time you start? I was like, 9. He goes, I'll take it from there. I'm like, okay. So right at 9 o'clock.
I'm sorry, hold on. Me and Tony going through military, that was
Yes.
PTSD triggered like, oh, shit.
Yes.
These boys are about to get the business.
If a Porsche goes 0
So
to 60
literally-
in 6 seconds, this is 2.
Yeah.
So literally, he kicks the door open, and they're in the locker room. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They're in their room, and he's like, "On your feet now! Get outside! Go, go, go!" So they take off flying out the door, and we're just standing there as a coach staff thinking, "Oh my gosh,
What have we
Our
done?
So it starts off rough, and he even said, he goes, man, that first 20 minutes is literally going to be a shocker to them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're in there doing push-ups for kids. And then he went as far as, that's not good enough. Get back inside. He goes back in. Well, he motivates them, right? And then they come flying out again. They start it all over. So they went pretty strong for it was probably an hour, 40 minutes of PT
Jeez.
training.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, it brought our kids closer together.
Oh, it does.
And they were glad they did it. So it's
got
a really
goosebumps.
positive thing. It's nothing negative. It's
Oh.
more of a team building than anything.
Oh,
So
100%. Well, you did two great things. One, you let those National Guards get the payback on what happened to them at boot camp. When you called, he was probably like, I've been waiting for this call.
And I've got the
for
5
you have
perfect
no idea what I'm about to do. And number two, it really does. I remember through boot camp, I mean, it was just a bunch of random strangers. And by the end, I mean, you feel like brothers, but
Did they ever
Yeah.
make them pair up with somebody else and do an exercise? Because I'll
Yeah,
never
so they-
forget when you're looking around and you're like, fireman carries.
Yeah.
You're like, what is that? You're looking at it. You're like, I want the smallest dude I can find. You
Where-
better be the quickest.
where's
you can
Bryson
grab."
Dunham?
he counted them off. It was so funny. And it's right at the beginning. If you guys get on Facebook, you can see some
Oh,
of
I'm
it.
watching
But he
this.
has
I'll
them
make a
count
video.
off, right? And when they're counting off, he said, you all can count, right? And they were like, yeah. And he said, this is what I want. They screwed it up right at the beginning, and they were back to push-ups and flutter kicks. It was like, you guys can't even get this right. So, again, it started off kind of rough, but
Yeah.
it ended so well. I mean, our kids were locking arms. They were running down the field together, saying they're not going to give up, and they're brothers. It was awesome.
That's
man.
amazing,
It was a
Let's
great,
go.
yeah.
Well,
Highly recommend coaches.
hell yeah. Well, Coach, that's why you're the right fit to have come back into Payne Valley. I love what you're doing out there. I love that you're keeping the tradition going. And thank you for being a supporter from the beginning on our very first show.
Right.
And next year is our
Right.
1 year. You're right back here. So we can't thank you enough for keeping it coming on, Coach.
Yeah, anytime, guys. I appreciate what you guys do for our area, our kids. Love
Hey,
it, man.
send us a list of players that want to play collegiate ball. We'd love to have our hands on a
Yes,
set of
and tell
names.
Braylon we said congratulations on the Rio offer.
Congratulations on that offer.
One of the first ones in the area, so there we go. So, Coach, good luck to you and the Bearcats this season, and we hope to see a lot of wins coming your way.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Ladies
Thank you so
and
much.
gentlemen, the always handsome, big beard, the winner of a coach, Corey Nye. See, Coach?
What a handsome man.
Yeah.
Dude, so when he was saying that, all I thought about was my first week in boot camp. You just come in, you can't do any push-ups, you can't do anything because you have to pass what they call P days, pretty much making sure that your body is equipped to take on like all of that kind of exercise. As soon as you step foot from your old barracks to now what your new barracks are, and they can do that, it is on like Donkey Kong. I mean, so you have these little drawers that come out. So you have like racks that are 1 and 2, like bunk beds, and then you have like a little drawer, and that's where all of your personal belongings are allowed to be. Only in this drawer, and you still have to put in like your deodorant, your shampoo, like all that, and your shirts and stuff. Like they all have to go in there, plus the little notes that you can get through boot camp. Number one thing they tell you the whole first week before you go over there: make sure that your drawer is locked at all times. Can never be not locked. Make sure it's locked. The first night we are there, we're all getting ready. We're all about to go to bed. We all about to like go take a shower and start winding down. And this petty officer, not even from our division, comes walking in, sees an unlocked rack with it being made, so he knows somebody's in it. Takes it, says, "Who the fuck left their door?" I'm like, "Get on your face!" And that's when I knew I made a terrible decision. It was I was just doing push-ups like, I don't know these people. I don't deserve this shit. It wasn't even my fucking thing. Like, and it was so.
It's accountability for the people around you. Mass punishment.
Yeah.
All of those things.
And when he
great.
said, like, the first 20 minutes that they had was just like a shock. That's what it is. You're like, what is going
when
on
you're
right
a
now?
growing human and you get some man coming in and yelling at you, you're
Yeah.
almost like, no, I'm not doing this. And then they're so like, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You start doing it, and it's the first 20 minutes you're questioning everything that you're doing. Like, I'm not doing any more of this. I'm stopping right now. 20 minutes in, you're just like, I hope they stop soon.
Yeah,
'cause
not
I'm
to
in
mention the
now.
guy was like 6'5", buff. I was
Yeah,
like,
see, that's why I would have never made it, because I wouldn't did it. I would have got beat up.
Yeah,
I would have got
like-
beat up a lot. Like, they would have just beat
and
me
they
up
called
all
it
the
beating
time.
your ass.
Dude,
and
I'll
it,
never
damn
forget
it did it.
He ran
They
for
probably would have
Pitts-
killed me.
Yeah.
For university track. Joshua Townsend decided to have a Gatorade when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
They put him in a literally a lazy boy recliner on top of like the edged brick wall. Had him recline, had a 6-pack of Gatorades. 54 people were outside PTing doing bear crawls on concrete in like 85-degree
I
weather.
mean, they all hated him.
They wouldn't let us talk, but every now and then they'd be like, "How do you feel about Mr. Townsend?" And we'd be like, "We're gonna kill you!" And dude, your hands are all jacked. It's like, oh, you learn real quick.
Dude, there was one time where I hit my head on a TV, and I pretty much was like, "Yeah, concussion, take me to whatever." So I get bed rest for a day. So I did. I got to lay in bed for a whole day, right? My 24 hours, I mean, on the dot hit. He was like, "Get up." And it was shower time. And shower time was an hour. So it was but it's this half of the room, go and take your showers. This half, start cleaning your rack, and then you switch about 30 minutes in, right? So they had this list of this card. And pretty soon you realize which one's the first workout, which one's the last workout. So petty officer calls me over. He starts running the whole card on me because we all knew I didn't have a concussion. So we get to the last one. It's like doing the burpees, right? I do 10 burpees. And if they could just say you messed up whenever and restart, that's a thing. So I get through the burpees. I stand there. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm done. I'm about to take my shower. Like, at least this is done with. Started from the top and went through the whole thing again. I was like, I hate my life so much. So, like, and that's another thing, too, is like, that was a punishment. And then whenever you do something like that as a punishment, you kind of don't want to do stupid shit anymore.
When we were done, we all have cigar burns in the exact same spot on our wrists. So we hated each other. Each person that we graduated with, we hated them at some point during our time.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And at the end of it, it's all of us were just like, never forget you guys. I love, like, when you say arm in arm, that's the way we walked out.
All right, well, enough of our naval stories. Let's get on to one of my new favorite segments, Adam's Courtroom.
You said that about the last favorite segment, so it's kind of a little
No.
hurts a little bit.
No,
but
this is number one favorite segment, Adam's Courtroom. Adam,
all
court
right.
is in session.
So, because Tony won the segment last week, I'm going to give you the option to pick first, give you a little bit of advantage. So, the topic is which came first, the chicken or the egg?
I will go second.
Okay, and what are you picking?
Oh, I had to pick that? Damn.
Yeah.
Well, now I want to go still second. I'm going to go with the egg.
The egg. So, Tony, why did the chicken come first? Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it like 15 seconds?
Oh, yeah,
I
15
forgot
seconds.
The timer. I'm awful.
Yeah, we do. Maybe we could use this paint bat. We just need something you can hit and just use the paint bat.
All right, and go.
Well, what's mildly hilarious, everything starts from an egg, and that's great. But something has to make the egg. You can't tell me it just magically appears. What are you going to say? The chicken does too? Then everything did. It came from the dirt. It evolved. It had the ability to lay eggs. An egg, what are you going to do? You crack it, you eat it. It's not that freaking important, but the chicken gives you more of them.
And then that's time. So it's 20 seconds because I wasn't looking. All right, Clay.
Why do you think I wanted to give a second half?
Okay, the last week I felt super confident. That was ass.
And then go.
It's basic science that the chicken did not come first. The egg came first. It came from a different kind of bird. Then it got dysfunctional. It became a chicken. And that chicken laid more eggs, more chickens, and then so on and so forth. So the egg actually came first from a different bird, made it a chicken, and there you go.
You stopped at 15 seconds, so you
Didn't
still had
need
an
the whole
extra
5.
And so here's what I'll say.
Did you come up with that yourself?
I don't
Yeah.
want the win. There's no question here.
That's the only thing I can think of.
That's the correct answer.
I'm already.
Wait, what?
Come on.
Neil deGrasse,
Come on now.
deGrasse Tyson.
Look outside and look at those hills and tell me God ain't real.
So who won?
I'll have to go just based off of what Derek said, I guess, with the Neil deGrasse Tyson. I might have to go with you. But I was,
Like, if that's not a question.
That's
Like,
it.
if I got that point, I would have left and be like, I'm not in this courtroom anymore because it's not.
That's the only logical thing I could have thought of.
No, that was great.
I'm smart.
now, this next one.
I wanted the egg. I wanted the egg, too.
I picked the egg because it seemed like the easiest one.
I thought it was funny. Clay started off with the chicken came second. Because I feel like he forgot what he was going to say.
Man, you know
then-
me
All right.
well.
All right, Tony. So you get to pick what side you're on this one and whether you're going first or second. Hot dog, is it a sandwich or is it not a sandwich?
I'll go not a sandwich. And I'll go second.
Okay, Clay. The hot dog being a sandwich.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I was totally preparing for the other one. Okay. What am I? So I'm saying the hot dog
Start
is
now!
a sandwich.
It is a sandwich for him, right? Yeah,
Is a
it's
sandwich?
a sandwich.
Okay.
And go.
Well, it's a sandwich because the sandwich is between these two slices of bread. It doesn't matter if the bread is connected. If you were eating a bun and then the lower bun just happened to be part of the bun, and you put a burger in there or some ham, it's still a sandwich. And you put condiments on it. You put ketchup, you put mustard, you put lettuce, onions, you put all that stuff on them.
That was time. But you said condiments before
Yeah.
15, so I'll let you go.
Am I allowed to submit evidence?
I mean, yeah, sure, yeah, as long as it's 15 seconds. And go.
You need 2 slices of bread, even though when they're connected, it's fine. There's 2 things here, bud. When you need 2 slices of bread, you need 2 slices of bread. Don't give me that shit. Also, I'm out. You need 2 slices of bread.
I don't
I
know.
was like-
You need 2
I was
slices
gonna say
of bread.
condiments, and then I'm like, I don't know if I can. This one's hard.
Well, so that was another thing I saw is a taco a sandwich? So I'm gonna give this one to Clay again.
Yeah.
But
No, what's nuts is you give it to Clay, but I'm right.
yeah, I mean
That's the thing. It's like you argued it better. You won. If this was a court of law, you would have won this case. But I'm right.
yeah, I do agree with Tony's side of things.
But way to be non-biased.
Yeah.
Way to be
That's a
non-biased.
Non-biased opinion.
All right, now this next one.
Okay.
So you won, right? So that
Yes.
means yeah. So Tony, you get to pick
I
again.
got too focused on the evidence. That was a good one, though. I thought the 2-piece to 1-piece.
Too
thing,
hot or
but
too
then
cold?
Too hot or too
So
cold?
which one would you rather be? Too hot or would you rather be too cold? So so you'll pick which one you're on the side of.
Oh, too cold.
So you'll be too cold, and then you going first or second.
I go second again.
Okay. So Clay,
Actually,
why is it?
sometimes it's a benefit to go first because you, like, berate the other person. They're like, fuck. But,
Damn, so I have
no,
to
I'll go
argue too
second.
hot?
I'll go second.
Yeah, you got already too hot.
Okay.
And go.
Well, damn, I would pick. Dude,
Busted on the last
I know, man. I would pick too hot because a cool breeze of AC when you're hot and a cold shower when you're hot is amazing.
yeah, we'll stop there. It was 15 seconds because you did have a law.
Yeah,
quite a
'cause-
bit.
It's simple math.
All right, and Tony.
When it's cold, you can add to yourself.
I know, Tony. I know.
So when you're hot, there's nothing you can do but sit there and bake. When you're cold, you can at least try to find assets to pad, do these types of things, cuddle together for warmth.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one to Tony.
No shit.
Yeah. I mean, you could have said like, you know, you can always get buck ass naked.
Yeah,
you know,
but his point makes so much sense. You can't start taking your skin off. Like you can always
too hot,
add.
you could always go swimming and stuff like that. There's a couple different ways you could have went with it, but
Now, I'll admit,
Yeah,
when
no,
I
I just knew I was- I
Yeah.
just knew whatever I said was wrong.
yeah, yeah, it's hard to fight in a battle that you don't really feel like you
the
want.
sandwich one. I was like, I know I'm wrong on this, but I know the points to the
Yeah,
other
so
side.
I could fight for this one. You're just like, yeah, being hot sucks.
Yeah,
And
trust
we got
me.
a fan in here right now.
Literally,
and I can't
I'm
stop
fat,
thinking about
dude.
like,
I hate being hot.
put this fan more towards us.
Jeez, Louise. All right,
And I only had 3 because we did 3 last week.
Cool.
1-1.
all right.
It's good.
I would
It's way to
say
be non-biased.
that was a good
I
one.
tried.
You
That was a
can't
good one.
let your opinions, because some of them are.
Yeah.
It's tough. That's what makes
Yeah.
it fun.
All righty, we on to our draft. Who won the poll?
So yes, the poll.
So just so you guys know now, we will be picking our draft order based off of the votes off of our Twitter and our Instagram polls we'll be putting up every week. We'll
The
be
poll
putting
is only on Instagram. I just told him.
this
I
week
po-
was
I
just
did.
on Instagram, yes. But then you can see it on Twitter and Instagram coming after this week. We'll put it up. We want to keep it the same day as the next show.
So, what?
Nothing. What?
Oh yeah,
Let's
like,
go first.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how we were gonna do it. It's like with
Yeah.
the show. I was
So
gonna do
next
it on
Tuesday we'll
Tuesdays.
have the poll up before this show starts. Make sure you go and vote. Adam.
So I got number 1 vote with 11.
All right.
Tony got second with 9 votes, and then you got 4 votes.
I feel like I always lose. All right, let's go. Adam, you are first. We are drafting best goodbyes. So when you're saying goodbye to somebody, the best way to say it.
Yeah. So this one is my favorite goodbye of all time, and I'm watching Parks and Rec for the first time, so it's very Ron Swanson-esque. The Irish goodbye, where you don't say goodbye, you just leave.
Yeah.
My favorite goodbye. You get to skip all that. It's like just, all right, I'm leaving. I'm not telling nobody. Nobody knows I'm gone until they're like, hey, where's Adam? All right,
That's a good one.
Must have left like an hour ago.
That's a
Huh?
good one.
Yeah, just the Irish goodbye.
Before ghosting. It was,
Yeah,
All right,
ghosting is the
Tony,
texting.
you are second.
Bye.
I mean,
It's a classic. Yeah, it's a classic.
keep it an OG, man. I feel like mine's a classic, but not as classic as the bye. It's the see you later alligator.
I like it.
Solid one.
And
Solid
I
one.
used it today. Sometimes you just don't know what to say, and your friends.
I wrote that down as Sila. See you later, alligator. And then number 2.
You start new acronyms.
This is where the draft really starts, isn't it? Number
Yeah, you guys talked about this, and I was like, 15 goodbyes.
Yeah.
or 12 goodbyes.
Yeah,
at the
dude,
least.
it's hard.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna give the old peace. Just put the deuces and walk the fuck out.
Deuces.
Well, you should just change that to Peace Out, Girl Scout.
Yeah.
'Cause, like that's your
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Yeah.
There you
Now
go.
we're adding in all the dad quotes too.
Yeah, yeah. So
All right, Tony, back to you.
So, I think I'll take this one just because I like it a lot. But do you remember, like in Adult Swim and stuff, those old shows at the very end? There was that security guard that used to go,
that's
"Adios!"
American Dad. That's American Dad.
American Dad.
Yeah.
Justice. Adios. But I like adios.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
Adios.
It switched up because he also hit the "Bye, have a wonderful time."
Yeah.
That was my favorite that he said.
But I like adios because it's something that like I
It's
still,
fun.
Still kind of say it's like
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm bilingual.
Hi, I'm
That's
Paul.
what I was thinking of. I was gonna bring it up. Like, can I draft that?
Technically isn't goodbye even though he's saying hello.
Yeah, because it's the last thing you see, and then he leaves. Like, hi, I'm leaving. All right, Adam, you get 2 back to back.
I'm gonna go. It's one that's paired real well with yours. Your number 1 pick. So
Okay.
the see you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile.
There you go.
There's my number
that
2.
would be the response
Yeah.
to the goodbye.
In a while, crocodile.
After
a while.
crocodile.
And then you got one more.
Deuces.
Deuces. There you
Wait,
go.
I thought he just took those. Like, I'm confused.
I took Peace Out Girl Scout. He's just doing the deuces.
Yeah,
Deuces
I
is
don't.
way back.
Yeah, I always like
Yeah.
deuces.
Yeah, it's way.
That's my high school.
Yeah, but
that's
my
my high
slogan-
school
But
outro.
you said deuces.
No, I didn't.
He said peace.
Peace Out Girl
No,
Scout.
if you rewatch this video, he said deuces. And,
I said peace, throw up the deuces. So that would be different.
yeah, I guess.
Tony, are we doing 4? We're just drafting 4 apiece?
I could probably do 2 more, but
Does that mean 5?
yeah.
5.
Okay, Tony, go.
I'll do it to you. It's the 300 handshake, and it's like when you're leaving, you give them one of these. That shit's fire. Dude,
The no
come
words,
on,
just
bro.
the.
It's just you grab the, and you're just sitting there like it's like it's not a squeeze of a hand. There's too many bones in it. That's weak. It's like,
I
Yeah.
also I like calling it the soccer handshake because I see it a lot in soccer.
Do
like
they
it's
do
like, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I like it though.
I feel like mine really just pertains to Southern Ohio, and I feel like you understand when I say this. But when you're just like, well,
Can you call it the well shit?
I guess it's time to get on out of here. So I'm going to draft well, and then,
It's a great one. Sleeper.
yeah. I'll let you guys be the judge of this. The fake phone call. We're talking to somebody, you're like, what? Oh,
I still
Stevie
wanna-
go home all right. Well, see you later.
I still want to be able to take my option too, so I'll say yes. But you
Okay.
have to let me take mine too.
All right, so fake phone call. Plus, I've never done that to anyone ever, just so we're clear. All right, Tony, you're up.
So mine was gonna be like my wife's really cool. Lets me do a lot. It's like, there's so
I
many
love how
things
this is starting.
Well, the old ball and chain really got it. So to me, the wife is a good goodbye.
Yeah. Oh, my wife's gotta get me
Are
home.
you kidding me right now? She's pissed as hell. I was already out for 6 hours. She's cool as shit. Your wife would have been pissed by now. Even though she doesn't care.
Yeah. Yours? You got 2.
Yeah. So the first one is gonna be. Better hit that dusty trail.
What is this, 1880?
Yeah, dude, that's my favorite.
So what's funny is I use it almost daily for like older patients when they're going to a new facility. I was like, well, we'll get it in before you hit the old dusty trail. And they're like, that's how you win them over.
Yeah, one more.
Oh yeah, and I had it. What was it? Oh yeah, it's an American Dad reference. Later world, smell my ass. It's literally how the Antichrist. This is his last words. It's how he leaves the world. But
All right, Tony, you got your last pick.
I got the best one. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's what we all do every time we leave one another, most of the time, is the dap up. We're
Yeah.
not talking about the dap up. Just dap somebody
That
up
is a sleeper.
That's, like, I feel like that's a 50%er. I'm not
That's well
shaking
over
hands, I'm
50%
not, you know what I
probably,
mean?
yeah.
Like, it really is. Especially if you go into the half hug afterwards.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, hold on. You guys be just. I am not a fan of the.
I love the snap. I do it
I'm
every
not a
time.
snap guy. I
do
don't
it
like
every
it.
time.
The problem is that too many snappers don't do it right. It's got to be a full smooth. It can't just be.
Yeah,
you
it's
know
got
what
to
I
come
mean?
off.
It's got to be that.
You got to
nice-
come off the hand.
You almost
with
got
it.
to curl it first and let it come out because it's like then it's just like it's almost like.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
will say when you hit the snap right, it is the coolest handshake in the world. Especially if you do it with the
If
fellow
you're
snapper.
if you both do it,
Yeah,
Sure.
Like, if I dap my cousin
There's
or
no
my
way
cousin
to
Dylan
know
up,
it's happening.
Yeah.
shout out
You know what I
Doofer.
mean?
If I
That's-
dap him up right now, it's gonna be a perfect snap every time.
yeah.
He's the one that taught me.
I just like that slap, half hug, banger. That's the one you do. with
See,
more.
one that I was going more for phrases than I was but my go-to if I don't say anything is just the
Yeah,
little,
the
the little
I don't know. I feel like I do that, but I feel like I do that specifically me like for too much. Like, I do that for everything. All right, I need to draft one more.
if I'm annoyed, that's definitely how I get. I'm like,
Yeah.
get the hell out of here.
I'm just gonna go with the simple later.
I like it.
Later. So that's the only thing I can think of right now. So that's what I'm going with. All right.
Yeah.
Good draft. Derek, any that we didn't say that you thought of? Anything we
get a
didn't say that
sayonara?
you thought of?
Did you say sayonara?
Hasta la vista. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
I like sayonara
that's a good
too.
one.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Quote Nick Miller, sayonara, Sammy. Or, it's not a goodbye, so bad bye. It's what you say to somebody that you're like breaking up and you guys are like you're moving away. And
Because
like,
it's
this
not
isn't a
see you
goodbye.
later either.
It's a bad bye.
Yeah.
So bad bye, Reagan. Bad bye. That's
right.
the direct quote from New Girl.
Well, this
A
is
good
good.
one you give to your wife before you leave is right before you leave, you turn around, I'm sorry, and then leave. Rectal what?
Rectal.
he say?
I didn't hear it.
Requiem for a Dream. Who? Yeah, shit, I could never say that. I've heard that.
That sounds like a different
9,000
language.
This is
Oh, yeah.
this is what I say. Be back in 5 minutes. When I know I'll be back in an hour.
Sometimes I'll say, seize some carps. Because it's like carpe diem and it sees the day, so it's like, yeah.
That's a good way to stop. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of the Ride the Wave Show. Make sure you tune in next week for our 1 year celebration. We're going to have some big time guests coming on. Make sure you're checking out those socials and make sure you're being nice to people, everybody. We will see you next week. Peace out, Girl Scouts. We did it.
Lama la racha paso, am I right?